Muted. You're muted.
Oh.
You're killing it today, EE.
It's awkward of us just staring.
There we go. Windows did an update last night, and of course, like all Windows updates, every single instance of anything related to audio has changed. It's just everything, every single one. Anyway, sorry about that. Thank you very much. Anyway, welcome back to Roll For It, your favorite YouTube streamers get together to play some lovely top RPGs. We're, of course, today playing Vampire the Masquerade 5th Edition, The Silence of Shadows. I haven't said this intro before. This is the first time. Hi, welcome. Right, so we have a few announcements, and the
announcements is that Dot is the storyteller today,
that
and I'm playing Dakota.
You are.
Good luck,
Definitely what's happening.
all of you.
It's the body switch episode.
Yeah,
This is the episode where Dot gets to live out her best werewolf life and kill all of you.
Oh, not it. I'm hiding. Those ghosts.
That is going to definitely be when we do werewolf at some point.
Just wait.
I vote that we have that be a winter campaign so that we can wear the fur and not overheat and die.
Oh, there will be all the fur.
Can we just be somewhat naked? Because the fur is too much, man. It's too much.
We will not be streaming this on Twitch then. I guess we'll stream it somewhere where being semi-naked is allowed.
Luckily, the Declan outfit, I didn't have to wear anything below the navel, because if I did, I would have died. It was so hot all the time.
Well, that's a brand new game. Everything is different now, knowing that Declan didn't actually wear pants.
Game of Bones.
True.
Game of Bones.
Oh, wonderful.
I've missed
Sorry
you.
for the derailment
All of
there.
Anyway, we've got some announcements to go through real quick. Firstly, today's supporter is Draco. Roll for its resident Malfoy. Okay, Draco Malfoy. Thank you very much. Thank you for supporting today's episode, making it possible to pay the majority of the cast cost. Thank you. Fun story. Draco was actually good at spellcasting. The film just made him look terrible. Because he made the badges that said Potter sucks, and then when they tried to change them, they just got worse and worse.
Right.
So I was like, that's pretty good spellcasting, right?
Oh, he was super powerful. He was just a dickhead.
Oh, yeah.
It's like Ramsay Bolton.
Yeah,
Asshole.
the films make him look incompetent. He's not incompetent.
Neither is Ramsay Bolton.
No, he just did.
True.
Yeah, he died before season 8 at least, so season 8 he'd look incompetent. Actually, no.
No, everything's incompetent in season 8.
Tyrion.
It's not...
I'm really good. I'm really smart. Season 8. Everything I do is terrible.
Oh.
Fine.
Anyway.
It sounds like the life of a streamer. I'm really
Season
good. I'm really
8,
smart. Oh, I'm terrible.
Yeah.
Nobody likes me.
Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah.
You do that every day.
Too real, Bob. Too real.
Wow.
You do that every day until your career eventually ends, and then you go, I was right.
I was right the whole time.
There's that affirmation I've been seeking all this time.
There it is.
Oh.
Anyway, on that lovely warm note, we've got next Sunday, we have a new show starting, which is Blades in the Dark, Shadow of Duskfall. Which, if you don't know Blades in the Dark is a really fun game by Evil Hat. It's the same one that spawned Scum and Villainy, which you might remember we played last year. And it's a whole load of fun. It's basically a heist game set in a steampunk dystopia with demons and magic, and people don't die, they turn into ghosts, and there's a lightning barrier, and it's permanently night. And the stars are in the sea and dangerous. Anyway, it's a lot of fun. And
how long I've been pushing for a Blades game with you?
Yeah,
sounds
right.
dope.
And you decide that you're running for Sunday? I could
just
hit
saying.
you with this vampire book. I could.
I'm just saying, at some point, if we need a guest.
Sign me up. Let's go. I'm for it.
I feel like our entire group's been trying to get a Blades game together.
I said I would run
For
a
quite
Blades
a
game as
while.
well.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like
Blades-
everybody's like,
I love the
Blades?
setting.
It's
Blades
so good.
and Burning Wheel, I'd love to run.
Ooh, Burning Wheel.
There's also Band of Blades, which is like you're retreating from an undead horde type situation.
That's the one that just dropped, right?
Yeah, it just came out full release. I just picked up the book the other day.
Yeah, you're like holding out from a horde. Yeah.
Yeah. You switch between playing like command staff and then the soldiers go on missions, kind of like XCOM.
Oh, cool.
Eric was telling me it is super deadly, and I was like,
We're here for Super Deadly.
Everything that's forged in the dark is amazing. I'm for it.
It's a really good system for what it does. Anyway, so that will be a thing happening next Sunday, and
Cool.
it's going to be fun. You'll see the cast announcements dropping this week. Also, Maths' GM notes on the Thinblood coterie are now live on Patreon. If you want to go see those in your GM tier and above, you can go check them out before we find out today. That's going to happen.
Read my hand. Well, I read it anyway because God knows if they'll learn everything that I wrote down. So
true. And of course, we have the second half of our two-shot mini-series of Dungeons and Hangovers with, of course, myself GMing Bentham, Kika, Kira, and, of course, Eric playing D&D characters, trying to figure out who they are if they lose their memories. So far, they've kind of got to grips with the basics of who they are, though a couple of people are unsure about their classes. So it's going interestingly. It was funny. They tried to cast a spell and were like, can I cast a spell? Let's try and do a healing spell. Like, okay, you don't have a healing spell. Roll randomly. That's fireball. You fireball the entire party. They did well. So that's tomorrow. It was hilarious. I don't think actually it was a trying to healing spell. I think they were trying to do something like a single target thing and it just hit everyone. They set a barn on fire. Anyway, that's tomorrow. Of course, if you want to check the first parts on our YouTube channel. And last of all, the legend slots are open. There are a couple of legend slots open. You want to get them, grab them this weekend to get your rewards for October. Because, of course, when you get them by the end of the month, they happen next month. So if you want to get the legend slots and be in a legend game, which I believe Dot just finished hers, grab them now. Apparently,
literally like an hour ago.
And apparently they were competent, which is...
I'll tell you, I've run a lot of Legends games. I think these three really need to just go get a spaceship and do space heists because they nailed it. No, but they didn't even get. Yeah, they didn't even get in a firefight or anything. We played teens in space. We were teens in space.
You know
they
what
were
they
finishing.
Need?
Yeah.
They need a friendly Ewok who just kills Sith in like one shot.
Yeah, check in there. Dangerous little murder bears.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, they were on. What did they do? Oh, they were finishing their finals. They had to go retrieve a very high stakes weapon.
Okay.
They did it.
So there you go. Of course, if you want to support us, you can do so over at Patreon. There are different tiers and different rewards, including MP3s, after shows, GM tier notes, player tier stuff, GM polls like voting what races and classes are in Dungeons and Hangovers. There were interesting choices. Thank you, everyone. Stuff like that. There's also, of course, a legend. The hero tier as well, where you get access to stuff like putting NPC names down the list, where we pick from them to put into games. And yeah, there's also stuff like the deity tier, where why would you do that? But you can, I guess. Of course, there's also being a Twitch subscriber, where you can get emotes, access to the shows before they go up on YouTube, which runs 24 hours. You get access to a Discord as well, which is the same as you get with Patreon. Recommend you go over there. It's quite thriving. And of course, if you want to be a YouTube member, you get emotes. That's the thing. And I think you get access to the Discord as well. And of course, you can use bits or tips that go into the bowl down there, and physics happens. Also, if you want to support in a non-monetary way, or you want to support in addition to a monetary way, you can do so by just telling people about the show, spreading the tale, telling a friend, etc. And just let people know about the show. Get them to come over. Get them to watch. We appreciate it. Mass is checking stuff. I'm worried.
Sorry, I just thought of something.
I hate it when he thinks of things. So, before we actually get going, your friendly reminder today that we're, of course, playing Vampire the Masquerade. Vampire the Masquerade is, by default, a setting where we play some horrible, horrible people. It is a setting where the story about your characters is a slow slide to the beast, about them becoming inhuman and doing terrible, terrible things. It is not really a game about being superpowered superheroes, even if it's sometimes played like that. We are definitely playing it more towards the traditional angle of, yes, we are becoming more and more terrible people the further we go. If that's a problem, then feel free to just take skip an episode or skip a scene, or maybe just turn the volume down or go make a cup of tea. If there's a problem with something that you think is maybe something that touches too close to home for you or something, that's fine. Don't mind yourself for our sake. Just go and make a cup of tea or something. Skip a certain section if you need to. And furthermore, please don't take out on the people playing the characters. People playing their characters. Their characters can be horrible, horrible people. They themselves are not horrible people. They're all lovely people here, except for maybe Mathis. He is horrible at its core, which is why he's a great GM. So definitely recommend that you take it with the heart of people are trying to be acting their characters. They aren't actually their characters. Tracy hasn't blown up an orphanage, to the best of my knowledge.
Oh, we are, because I'm just a bad guy, through and through.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. Ollie's Bub as well. Cool. With that said, I'm gonna hand it over to Mattis, and he's got the look on his face.
All right. Before we get going, I want two rouse checks from everybody to represent 2 nights that we're moving into before we begin. Let me know what everybody's hunger's at once everybody's done.
I passed both.
That's
I
always
passed
important.
both.
Failed both.
Okay. So what do you have for hunger?
I am at hunger 4.
Oh God.
Ladies are going to dinner.
Yeah.
Now, you have a herd? Do you
I
not?
do indeed have a
And
herd.
did you feed on them last session?
I didn't. I wanted to get to it, but
You're welcome to do so. And just how many dots in herd do you have? 1?
I believe I have 2. I have 2 dots in herd.
Okay. You're welcome to feed down 2 of those 4 before we
Sounds
start.
great. I'll do that.
Dakota, unfortunately, you do not have a herd, if I remember correctly.
I do not.
So you are welcome to make 1 hunting check prior, if you would like to.
Oh God,
Um,
my hunting is. Oh, I think I said.
If
this
you're
up.
using Alley Cat, it's grapple,
Yes, grapple.
brawl, grapple plus strength.
And the only place you have open feeding rights is the rack. So you'd have to go to the rack to feed.
Oh, I can't feed in the gangrel domain.
You can on wildlife if you want, but there's no one really there. You can try to hunt somebody down. It just would be very difficult.
Got it.
You could ask Ollie for permission if you're at his bar.
I guess that's true. One of the things that I guess Dakota was probably not really going to go all the way back to the yacht while this endeavor happened. So if I'm staying with Ollie, I'd probably just feed there.
Sure. You're able to feed with the difficulty of at Ollie's bar. You get a +1 on top of it. So I'm just going to lower the difficulty by 1. Make me an alley cat feeding roll, please, and I'll let you know.
So we said that's brawl and strength. Brawl. Ugh. Yeah,
I
it's
mean, I
brawl
can look it up real
I
quick.
think it's brawl strength.
Brawl,
No, I had
strength,
this
specialism, grapple.
grapple. Yeah, so I get 2. The beast, but I have
And,
3 successes.
That's fine. All you need is I need 2 successes out of you, so that's fine. You can feed down, I believe, like down 2. I think
Perfect.
3 is risking it, but 2
Okay.
you can.
We'll do 2 then. That's fine.
Yeah. So that's fine to bring everybody back down to 2.
And the same girl was not there. You said she.
No, she was gone.
left.
Yeah,
She
she
left.
left.
The next day. They told Ollie she left. So.
That's what I thought. I thought I heard that.
All right. I'm trying to think. Make sure that everybody else is good roll wise. E, was there anything you wanted to prepare in these 2 days that require a rouse check?
Thinking about it, I don't know if stuff's going to go down today, so no, I wouldn't. I'd have to wait until I knew something was going to go down because they've got a time limit on use.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure. All right. I think that's it for rolls. So let's dive in. Let me just get my notebook open. Last we saw our coterie, the end of last week, was at Ollie's bar, where we opened, similarly. However, as the camera pulled away, the 4 of them had come to an agreement with a particular Ventru on a Ventru council here in the Lower West Side. A small group of Thinbloods has been making problems for them, feeding openly, causing Masquerade breaches. Things that the Camarilla, whether they fully know or not, would eventually find out about, if given the time. But the Ventru have given our coterie here 5 nights, in turn for a deal, to take care of these Thinbloods. They were to remove them from Ventru territory in some fashion or another, and the deal that they came down and brokered with the Ventru was quite simple. Bring one of the Thinbloods to him to stand trial, and the other 2 to remove or kill at their leisure. The coterie came up with a plan. Take the one that they needed and move the rest over to Berwyn, where the Lupines reside. Let them deal with it. That way you don't have any blood on your hands, and you can rationalize away the murder of 2 innocents as a kindred, maintaining that desperate cling to humanity. So tonight, we start on the 3rd night in to this 5-night timeline that they were given. The first 2 nights passed by relatively quietly. There were stakeouts at the local feeding area by Route 50 near the water over there, under a bridge, as specified. And those who stayed and would watch found nothing. Nobody came by. But bad things have happened. No masquerade breaches. Nothing to immediately flag those in the area that kindred reside here. On the one hand, it's a good thing. Without them arriving means the masquerade is still intact. On the other, the longer they go without feeding, if this is where they tend to feed, the hunger they're going to get. Thinblood or not, they still have to feed. And so you wait, and you wait. And as the camera comes into focus, we're actually focused on a burner phone. A call just finished up. Phone clicks shut and gets stuffed into a pocket as we pull back, and we're greeted with the profile of Zachary Heloise, walking the last couple of blocks towards Route 50. He and Dakota tonight. They're the ones to watch the area. Zach, you just got off a phone call with your contact with the police force, giving you all the information that I told you about yesterday. It isn't long before you arrive. Either Dakota's there already or she'll be meeting you there. And when she eventually arrives, you sit under a bridge on the other side of the water, watching either from a quiet spot hidden away from view or what have you. You have gigantic concrete pillars that hold up the bridge, and water runs underneath with garbage bags clinging to what little water is brushing up against the surface. You see cans and garbage, and plenty of empty beer bottles scattered throughout the area. Lots of broken glass. There's the shouting and gunshots of every night out here in the Lower West Side, especially this far south near Archer Heights. You are on the border of Anarch territory, or at the very least, what used to be Anarch territory, before the Camarilla carved it out and handed it to the Ventrue as a quote-unquote gift. And ever since, this area between the 55 and the Route 50, that little triangular slice, has been a bit of a hot spot between the Anarch and the Camarilla. There are still some Anarchs who claim that part of that area is their turf. It's been theirs for decades and will continue to be theirs, Cam or not. And then there's the Cam who try to push in and take what they believe is theirs. Kindred trying to take small claims across territory, usually younger Ventrue who feel that they have power now that there's this big swath of land open for the taking. Whether they've been granted the right to claim that land by the Ventrue Council or not doesn't really matter, especially with newer territory like this. And like I said, it's been violent either way. Eventually, Zach makes his way fully up to where the two of them are. And Dakota, either being there, arrives. The two of them get together within an hour of Zach arriving there. Zach, is there any conversation you'd like to have with Dakota as the two of you wait? I imagine the way it goes is pretty much an all-night thing. Maybe you shift out every so often if things need to be taken care of, but if you're going to be watching a feeding ground, you know you're going to have eyes on it all night long. So, as the camera pulls away and we see Zach taking his last steps over to the waiting spot, and we see Dakota walking with her mane of dreads. Does she keep her dogs with her as well during this?
We're venturing into
you're in Ventrue territory, bordering Anarch territory, and are about a mile away from Lupine territory.
No, we're gonna leave I don't even know that Dakota's had a chance to go back and get them from the boat itself, so she's probably going to not bring them along. This seems like that they would only get in the way. This is not the right mission for them.
Dakota, you arriving as well would see Zach, and the two of you kind of approach under the bridge. The night sky is rather cloudy tonight, the full moon being blocked out by a lot of clouds. So there's not a lot of illumination. It's a little darker than normal. Not that it matters too much to the two of you, but for mortal eyes, it would be important. And the night is very early. You would get here around 11 p.m. as the night is just starting to get going. I apologize, I keep interrupting, but is there anything the two of you would like to discuss, or would you like me to continue?
Yeah. And we still had no sign.
I haven't seen anything, but I did get a very suspicious tip-off.
Uh-oh.
Someone near here spotted something weird.
Something weird? Well, fuck. We're kindred. What kind of weird?
Someone acting beyond mortal means.
Okay. What did they witness?
Someone throwing something that they weren't able to throw. One of her students.
A student.
Do I know whether that means just student in general, lower school, high school?
She's a high school teacher, so
school,
anywhere
okay.
between
What a high school
13
student,
and
okay.
18 years old.
Okay, great. One of her high school students.
Wait. I thought somebody around here is turning children.
It could be someone throwing something abnormally far, but that doesn't seem a likely coincidence.
Hey. Well, if they're a bunch of fucking kids, we're probably not gonna find them roaming about the underside of a fucking bridge.
Well, if they come back here to feed, then sure, but if they go somewhere different, they're kids, like you said.
What are kids like? Pretty ladies. Where's Ava? We gotta draw him out.
We'd be searching for a needle in a haystack still. One Ava does not cover enough city blocks. We have a couple of leads. We have, of course, her school, and we have her. There is a catch. You're gonna like this catch and hate it at the same time. Guess where she lives?
Where?
I point towards a werewolf territory.
Fuck! She lives inside of the territory?
Uh-huh. About a mile west from here.
I hate to break it to you, but we can't just go waltzing. We can't.
I'm not good at waltzing.
Well, fuck, me neither. What I'm trying to say is we can't just... The point is not for us to cross into territory, but for us to drink the Thinbloods and doing it.
Here's the thing. She made that call saying she saw something untoward of a child throwing something they shouldn't be able to the government establishment, which means we don't have long before the Second Inquisition pick up on it. Of course, they're covering the whole of Chicago, the whole of the US, the whole of the world, so it might take a while for it to surface. We're looking in the right area at the right time.
This still doesn't help us locate them.
She knows who is one of her students.
Isn't there like some sneaky way where we can like go to a computer or something and pull her fucking class list? Like, why do we gotta go knocking on her door? Because I hate to break it to you, Zach, but I'm not going knocking on that door.
Neither am I, but maybe Ollie has contacts in the area. He has a lot of homeless people. People who aren't kindred. People who can go into werewolf territory.
What do I know about these werewolves? Have I picked up on anything after tracking them?
The werewolves in Berwyn specifically, the ones who have become more active over the 10 years, have been exceedingly hostile towards any kindred. They have ripped them apart. You follow them to the best of your ability, and like we have discussed prior to the start of the campaign,
right.
There is tentative potential to communicate with them, but only with Gangrel.
Right.
Period. And even then, you're not guaranteed to walk away from that encounter.
So you want to get one of Ollie's contacts to send a homeless person knocking on this teacher's house?
Maybe he knows someone who we can use. Like you said, the only opportunity is we either call her, and if she's tapped, we're screwed. Or we try and hack. And I'm not sure I really want to try that.
Fake it or something? Like call her up and maybe we're like a local news station. Or we want the scoop of the story or something.
Sure.
There's got to be a better way than telling you. I don't think it's a good damn idea for us to be snooping around her place at all if she is in werewolf territory.
Do you want us to risk the coterie this, or...?
Maybe they have a better idea.
Well, I'm not particularly fond of giving a call to a woman who's going to be the target of an Inquisition check anytime soon. We could do, but we need to run pretty quick from whatever phone we're using. We also need to have a very convincing argument.
I don't have any of those things. I just wanted to watch the werewolves eat the Thinbloods. That's why I'm here. I'm telling you, if we cross into that territory, we're fucking dead, Zach. And anybody working for us, if they find out, are also fucking dead.
Okay.
So, if there's a better way to find out the name.
I could pretend that I'm phoning back around her call. I have the information. I presume I would have a reference number that they might have given her. Would I have a reference number, Mathis, that she would have given to my contact?
Oh, for the person?
Yeah, like she might have given like a crime reference number or something regarding like her phone call. If she stayed on long enough.
Crime reference number.
It depends. Like she wasn't reporting crime, so she might not get one.
No, I don't.
Okay.
I don't.
Would I have a contact number for her then?
Give me a minute.
Otherwise, I'll yellow pages her because I have her name.
I mean,
yeah, I mean,
the
like
real
you
question...
know where she lives, so you can easily get the number. It's just whether you have it right this minute or it'll take you like 30 minutes.
So she didn't give us. When she reported this, who did she call into?
The cops.
Yeah.
The cops.
She called 911.
She called 911, and she didn't say she knew the kid, but didn't give a name.
So you know the details. You got to keep. Zach is getting this secondhand information from his police contact, who wasn't directly involved with the case. But
okay. That's what I was missing. Okay, cool.
I have a person in the call center, which is intermediary contact, so it's very useful for pulling information out. But I don't get full information.
Exactly.
Got it. Okay. I see.
Like it's great for leads. It's not great for full info.
Okay.
I can get her number, I can give her a phone call and say I'm calling her back about the phone call she made on time, date, etc. Hi, I'd like to just confirm a few things with you.
Where did she see this kid toss something?
I don't have that info.
Fuck.
Like I said, the call was specifically she saw one of her students. Yeah. You can assume
it would be at school, but there's a possibility it could have been after school on the way home or something. Can't be
possible.
Certain. Yeah.
But if a teacher's calling, daylight was happening at the very least.
Yeah. So, like, it was one of her students, so we know they go to her school, minimum. So it could have seen them anywhere, but definitely a person who will be at the school, which means that they can be in sunlight. So.
Right.
Which means, of course, they probably have a normal day lifestyle. They'll probably go to sleep with their parents in the house. They'll
it's a fucking high schooler, which means they have a routine. And we've not seen them feed in, 3 days?
This is the third night.
Maybe we've missed something, but we haven't seen anything turn up. They haven't been back here.
Maybe we're looking in the wrong places.
Probably.
Which plus awareness, both of you.
Yeah. Oh, right. Single success.
Okay.
Single success.
Okay. And I'm gonna roll something real quick. That's funny. Okay, one more. A bit less on that one. Okay. Continue.
Either way, I can make a phone call.
Where do high schoolers hang out nowadays? No, trust me, high schooler does not go back to the fucking school at night.
Not after school, no.
Where do they hang out after? Like, where are you gonna go? If I was a fucking high schooler and a thin blood and I needed to feed, I'm gonna go to where all the fucking hot chicks are.
Okay, but they did feed here, so why would they change their MO? Either way, maybe we should
What else is in this area? Yeah, what else is in this area, Mathis?
This area is relatively empty, devoid of anything public. But if you're thinking like where kids would go, past the Lower West Side to the now into Chinatown, there's actually a outdoor open mall in Chinatown that people love to go to.
Okay. And okay, so outdoor open mall that people like to go to. Okay, that's good information.
Lower West Side is in Chinatown.
In Chinatown, a problem. I got that. Yeah, that was an X and a check. Okay.
The Lower West Side specifically, there's the center of the Lower West Side that the Venture are starting to like kind of turn around, but there's no big hangouts in the Lower West Side.
Right, but
we have the park in Lawndale, which you could go to, and there's Forest Park to the east, which is just north of Berwyn. Kids could hang out there, especially teenagers, late night rebelling. Like those are options.
But we have good information that says that this is the last place that they fed this area.
This is where they've been seen. This is where bodies have been found. Bodies have been reported, shown up here under this bridge, showing telltale signs of kindred feeding. Again, it's more like this is what we assume is happening. Here's why we think it's Thinbloods, but go deal with it.
You know, if these fucking Thinbloods are idiots, like they seem to be, and they don't have any kind of knowledge, they would go to a public place, they would pick somebody up, and they would bring them here.
Picking people up at the mall and dumping them here? Then why haven't they done so in the last 3 days? Change the dumping area?
Possibly. Maybe they don't need to feed as frequently.
Either way, I think we should go back to Ollie's bar, pick him up, and see if we can get Ava. Because if the Inquisition check and they find out about Karen, they check for anyone found nearby looking like they might have had the telltale signs of blood loss. They find here, they'll check this place out.
I think we should keep eyes on this location. I'll stay.
You sure? How are we going to talk?
Do I have a cell phone? Maybe. Probably
in
not.
Emergency.
No,
I gave you a burner cell phone that's one use, chuck it away, never use again.
No, I don't know. How do we usually communicate? I come find you. I don't think we should take eyes off the location. If you want to go get Ollie and we want to wait on Ava, that makes sense. But the plan is to stake out this location, right?
Okay.
If we come up with a better plan, you can come get me.
Sure. And if you're not here and you've had to bug out back to Ollie's bar and we'll find you there.
Perfect.
So, conversation ends and you see Zach turn his back and start heading away. Heading toward the Lower West Side's corner where the Lights Out bar is situated right between the 55 and the 50. And Dakota stays. Sits. Do you play the homeless card or do you just hide, Dakota?
Are there trees in the area? Something up high?
No, but there's plenty of garbage, rundown cities.
I just need to blend.
Doesn't take long, not too far, with even the same block. There's a little area, especially under a bridge. You're going to find a group of about 5 or 6 different tents with carts and trash bags, a few people having conversation. You can easily make your way in, or even stay on the outskirts and look like you're blending in well. Can I please get a dexterity plus stealth check?
Of course. Stealth in alphabetical order says that. 1 success. Man, I'm rolling like shit today.
Can I also get a wits and awareness from you?
Mm-hmm. 3.
While you're doing your thing, we see Dakota standing off, maybe pulling out a tin can and dropping down to a crouching position, blending in with the locals as best she can. Dakota, you keep your eye tangentially on the feeding area. You don't lock there and just stare. It would stand out. You panhandle occasionally as people wander by. You have light conversation with the homeless in the area. And these people genuinely make you feel welcome. They always do. You are one of their own in a lot of ways. But as the night winds on, 30 minutes to an hour passes, you eventually see a figure over in that area, across the water under the bridge. One lone figure. You can't see details from here, just the silhouette of someone making their way through. They crouch by an area where one of the pillars meets the ground, and they seem to drag their finger across the ground and stand up and then look. And they continue to mull about the area for a little while. Do you do anything about
Okay, I would like to, staying in my homeless person
Sure. Blending in.
yeah, blending. I'd like to get closer. I'd like, if I can see the face, that would be awesome. But you said they drew something in the ground?
They dragged their finger across the ground, then
across the ground. Okay, and stood up. Okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna kind of trail who or whatever this is, not too far, and try to blend and see if I can't just make a face.
Sure. Can I get another wits plus awareness from you? But you'll get a +1 for moving closer. But I'm also gonna need another Dex plus stealth check as well.
Okay. Okay, that's a 3.
Okay.
And did I do that right? And then wits and you said stealth.
Dex plus stealth. Yep.
And a 2 for that.
Okay. Okay. You make your way over, very slowly shuffling towards the edge of the little dip that separates the side from the other. And that particular figure doesn't seem to leave for a while. He's moving things and leans up against a concrete post at some point, just keeping his eyes on the area. As you get details, as you move closer, and your eyes can transfix on this particular person, what you see is a young male. He has his hair tied up in a short ponytail. The sides of his head are completely shaved. He has a little bit of a 5 o'clock shadow going across his face. And down his left arm, and his left arm only, has an entire sleeved tattoo. What that tattoo is, you're too far away to see details of, but you can see the stark difference between his right arm, which is bare, open as well, and it's completely plain in the darkness of his left arm that is covered in ink. He is wearing no shirt whatsoever, completely bare-chested in this particular moment, and there's definitely some ink on his chest as well, and he wears ripped-up jeans. He openly has a pistol tucked into his pants by his left rear ass cheek. You can see the handle sticking out. And he just kind of is looking around nonchalantly, just seemingly taking in the sights.
Interesting. And he mingles in this one area specifically?
Where the feeding grounds are.
Okay.
He walked in, looked around, and then kind of posted up.
All right. I'd like to mingle back towards all the homeless people that are within, like, this area. Was there anybody in particular that seemed very friendly? I don't know, inebriated enough to talk?
Not out of the ordinary, like, more than friendly, but if you're looking for somebody, we can always make some rolls.
Yeah, I think Dakota might try to play the, like, oh, who's that guy kind of deal to somebody to see if she can't have them identify.
Sure. So you go up to a random near person, one of the folk chattering. I assume Dakota is usually drawn to a woman over a man for the most part when it comes to conversation. So you come up to the nearest woman. She's got really long, scraggly black hair. Eyes are very sunken in, and she's been picking at half a sandwich all night long, very, very slowly, ripping off tiny little chunks and taking a bite. And usually there's like a good 10 minutes between each bite, really rationing what she has. And as you approach, she smiles at you again, and she kind of like pats the ground next to her. She's like, "Take a seat." And as you walk over, she smiles, and she just kind of waits for you to talk to her.
Yeah, I sit for a minute just in the company, and then to let the air become natural. And
this woman's name is Ellen.
Ellen. And I just simply say, I'm new to this area, but do people mostly keep to themselves, or is he just an outlander? And I kind of point.
She looks over there and then looks back to you. Yeah, these people, we all look out for each other. We got each other's back. And then if looking again across the water, you talking about him specifically? I've never seen his face. And then she gets up and kind of like squints to get like a good look. Yeah, she's further away, and then she's like, yeah, and she plops back down on her ass, and she shakes her head again while ripping off another piece of sandwich. You can clearly see now it's 2 pieces of white bread with just some cheese in the center.
Ugh.
And she takes a bite.
But,
I've never seen him before.
Oh, this is his first time around here?
I don't know, but he ain't one of us at the very least.
Yeah, I bet he's not. I wish I have no food on me. I don't think Dakota has any food.
Listen, baby girl, if you're in trouble, you need help. Like I said, we got each other's back over here.
That's good. No, I've been looking for a new, place to hang out. Lost the roof over my head, if you know what I'm saying. So
She puts her hand on your arm, and gives you this very empathetic look.
I can't empathize with her.
No, not at all. But she looks to you. She's like, you're still a child.
Yeah. Grow up early or something. Yeah, I just particular about where I rest my head, and lurkers like that don't participate in the community make me nervous.
She nods. She nods as you speak, and we all have our demons we fight with. She rips what little of her sandwich is left in half, and she actually kind of hands you a piece.
I take it very gingerly, as if it's complete poison, and I say, "Oh, you know what? I had a really nice fella buy me a hamburger earlier. Why don't you keep this?"
She smiles and takes it back graciously.
And she goes, "I'm lactose intolerant."
She nods. If you ever need any
thank you.
food,
It's really kind. How about I'll be around some more. If you happen to find out his name or who the stalker is, you let me know.
Should I be looking out for anybody in particular, baby?
No, just that one. And I kind of point.
She smiles. You got it.
Gotta trust your gut,
Sometimes the only thing that keeps you alive in this place.
It is the only thing that keeps you alive in this place.
She laughs. Well, that and good friends.
That and good friends. So let's make sure our company stays good, shall we?
She goes back to taking a bite out of her sandwich.
I'll see you around, Eleanor.
And she stay safe, sweet thing.
I always do.
What does Dakota go to do now? Does she leave?
No, I think I'm gonna get saucy.
Okay.
I'm gonna walk myself past. Like, I want the trajectory to not be the stopping point of where they're at. I just want to walk past and see if they take notice of me. I need to read a little bit closer into all of this.
Sure.
Shirtless person with tats. Dakota's there for that, so.
Okay. So you cross over through the across the water then, and make your way by him, and we see
hood up.
Yeah, hood up. We see Dakota throw the hood up. We see the remnants of her dreads just barely on the outside of the hood as she slides down the little ravine jumps over the water. It's not much. You can easily leap that without looking like you're a super or anything. And you kind of clamber your way up, pulling yourself up and over the concrete. As you hop up on both feet, you begin to make your slow walk and march past him, looking as quote unquote nonchalant as you can. Now, Dakota is not one for subtlety and deception, as it were. I'm still going to need from you a manipulation, plus I'm gonna want from you a performance roll.
Oh, fuck me. All right, hang on. Okay. Well,
or subterfuge, but they're both the same for you.
I was about to say, let me see if they're the same on my sheet. I got 2 successes, both of the 2 dice. I'm gonna be drunk. Dakota knows what a fucking drunk person's like.
That's very true.
So it is about the only thing she probably can perform genuinely and honestly. So she'll be a little like stumbling and inebriated as to not make them think she is there scouting them specifically.
Sure. I just need to check something very
totally.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I can't believe I got both of those dice out of 2 die. That's luck. That's all my luck for the day, everybody. There it is.
It's gone. Okay. You walk by, And as you walk by, he says nothing to you.
Great.
Oh no.
He says nothing to me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
He doesn't stop you, and you just walk by him.
Yeah, I just want to stumble past. Do I manage to get a peek at him, a closer peek at him as I stumble by?
You do. You get a local peek at him, but beyond the more standoutish traits, actually, can I get from you an intelligence plus occult?
Ew.
I know.
Oh, nothing. I know nothing of whatever it is.
And last thing I need from you, I know it's a lot of rolls, is also an intelligence plus streetwise.
That's better. I got 1 success off those 4.
One is enough for Dakota, but only just barely. While most of the tattoos on him you do not recognize, they are amorphous and they're gorgeous. You see a giant serpent crawling up his left arm, and is about to devour something that seems nebulous and amorphous. There's really no, whatever the snake is about to eat, it doesn't really have a form. It just seems like this amorphous design. But at the tail, wrapped right around his elbow, right by his elbow, the snake kind of goes around. A symbol you're able to catch as he kind of lifts his arm up to reach over and scratch over his shoulder. First, it looks like the Anarch symbol, but then you realize, wait, that's not the Anarch symbol. That's the Brujah symbol. It's an upside down A circled.
Okay, it is the Brujah symbol. Interesting. So they're probably a Brujah. Okay. And they're definitely not mortal. I would be able to smell them.
You don't smell them. However, you are outside, lots of wind and whatnot.
Right.
Doesn't
Homeless
sound-
people.
From
Okay.
where you're at.
Yeah. Okay.
For a refresher, as far as Brujah are concerned on the map, for those who do not know, they are north of the Malkavians. They're over by the Gold Coast by Route 64 in Bucktown.
Okay, hang on.
On the
So
right-hand
this-
side of the 90 and 94.
This means he's outside of his.
He's outside of his domain. That doesn't necessarily mean anything. People travel outside of their domains and their territories all the time.
All the time.
As long as he's not feeding or breaking laws or claiming something as his own that he doesn't deserve.
Right. Okay. All right. Dakota is going to stay true to the plan, which is don't talk to them. Just don't talk to anybody, except for homeless people, because that's the best conversation she's had in like years. So Dakota will continue her walk until I obviously don't want to cross any of the major lines, but maybe loop back around. I don't know.
You tell me what you.
Yeah, I'm gonna loop. I think she'll do that. She'll try to get out of sight, loop back around, and try to keep eyes on this Brujah.
Okay. I would like another stealth plus dex check then. For those who are curious how Kindred has tattoos, because of how their body reverts to its natural state every night, there are ways Kindred can obtain tattoos.
Stealth dex.
Okay.
Or success at that time.
So you slip away, walking past the Route 50, the bridge part of Route 50, and as it kind of comes down and meets the road, that's where you disappear around the corner and lose sight of him. Dakota walks maybe a block or two for a while, just to make sure she puts distance between herself and that area, to not seem that she's immediately looping back around. And as she walks the streets, a few people straggle here and there. At this point in time, it's around midnight. There's not a lot of people that are on the road beyond those that have to be out on the road at this particular point, because they have nowhere else they can go. There's a few moments of people trying to hassle you for money. You even see what you believe to be maybe a mugging happening in an alleyway on your left, and then you eventually bank a hard right down your own alleyway, loop back around 2 blocks, and put yourself back in sight. Now he's still in the area. He's not leaning against the concrete post anymore, but he is milling about in the zone. You can still see him, however. He hasn't gone and hid or anything like that.
Great. My goal is to just
watch.
Just watch him, track him, and then if I feel like I am technically looking for somebody that's speeding, and a Thinblood, which he technically has the Brujah symbol, so I'm going back and forth. Dakota's going back and forth on that, but she's trying to keep her eyes peeled, and he seems to be the suspicious person in the room.
So we'll pull away from there. As Dakota situates herself in a nice little watching spot, the camera pulls back, meets the 50, and then eventually zooms up to 55 until we come to the corner of the 55 and the 50 where the Lights Out pub resides rather comfortably. There, we see Zach, a few blocks back, making his way towards Ollie's bar. A few of the homeless are milling around, and at this point, Zach, you know well aware that these people, in some fashion, whatever they see eventually works its way back to Ollie. You've worked your way into his territory. Do you just kind of head into the Lights Out bar?
Yeah, I mean, if I'm being to stakeout up in Little Village, Zach will definitely be dressed down. He'll be wearing, like, combat boots, long jeans, and just a really big, bulky hoodie.
Mm-hmm.
So
So you make your way over to the Lights Out pub, that nice kept area, red brick building, an otherwise poor part of town. Round towards the back, a staircase that leads down to a steel door that opens up into a nice, quaint little bar. It's a Sunday at this point, Ollie. It's been relatively quiet all night long, but that's always a good thing. No trouble, no people coming to try and wheel and deal. And as soon as the bar door swings open, Ollie is presumably out in the thick of it, maybe even in the kitchen doing things. A familiar figure makes its way through. There's, at the moment, Zach, there's about 6 people having drinks and merry conversation within this establishment.
Okay. Yeah. I make eyes at Ollie, and I sort of indicate, like, we have a quiet conversation.
Sure, yeah. I'll round the bar or exit the kitchen and just to find a corner, someplace that we can sit.
You can
Maybe
either
not
make
necessarily
your
for the private booth, but someplace quiet.
There's a place this easily. You could go to one of the feeding room, one of the 2 feeding rooms you have in the back that are both not being occupied currently. Nobody needs any immediate help, and back there, it's as private as you can get. And so you make your way into one of the rooms that has a cot, not exactly the most comfortable thing in the world, but it serves its purpose: a chair, a table, and a light. Simple, but it gets the job done.
Bookworm, looking a little different tonight. Very out of character.
Dressing down for Little Village.
How's it going, by the way?
Interesting. So
That's not good.
Yeah. So you're really going to enjoy the twist to this. Someone called up saying she saw someone throw something much heavier and further than they should have been able to. Call the police, I get the tip off. Seems to be in the same area. 2 downsides. 1, they're her students. And 2, she lives a mile inside werewolf territory.
Wait, so she called and reported that one of her students threw a what?
Something.
Okay. One of her students threw something further than they should have?
I only get the
like
cliff
how
notes.
talking.
I don't know, but enough that it's weird enough that I get the call.
Right.
Now, I'd like to talk to her more, but she lives a mile inside werewolf territory. Dakota stayed to watch the dumping ground. I thought I'd come to you and see what ideas you have. Current ideas consist of going inside werewolf territory, which no one's really a fan of, phoning her up from a payphone somewhere and pretending to be a cop, and asking if she has any more details.
When does the report come in?
The report came in 2 nights ago. You got the info tonight.
2 nights ago. So probably Friday, school day.
Likely it could have triggered some Inquisition, red flags. May have heard of it.
You're getting good at this, Ollie.
It's getting easier. Time does that. Alright, who's to say that she's not already been spoken to and she's being watched? And are the Inquisition ballsy enough to step into Lupine territory?
They might even know it's Lupine territory. They had the same information sometimes.
I'd be surprised if they don't. I can get a hold of a few people. Some kind. Some of my people. I can probably get out to them. But
Would they be able to talk to her and get information out of her?
it just depends on the kind of person that she is. If she just sees them as homeless and disgusting, or if she's equal and she views them as just people. But I would almost dare not send one of my people into a place that's being watched by the Inquisition.
Should I give her a phone call from a payphone somewhere not near your bar and pretend to be a cop just following up?
That's probably the safest bet about it. But you know you're gonna have to be quick.
I need you to watch the payphone just in case.
Yeah, I can do that. It sounds like the best bet. What are you thinking of making this call at?
I like pick a payphone suitably north, just inside a territory we're allowed to be in.
Payphones aren't as regular as they used to be. A lot of them are broken down. You will have to make a wits plus awareness to find one, or wits plus investigation to find one. You'll find one. This will just determine how long it takes you until you find a working one.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, in the other case, I could just use a burner phone and immediately break it.
How many burner phones do you have left?
I don't know. I've got resource 3, so...
But there is also that feat you took, or that merit you took, that specifically gives you one burner phone, which is where the burner phone comes from.
No. That feat I had to cut off, but also that feat says... the background stuff is, you know how to use burner phones and this, that, and the other, so you don't get traced. It gives you, the only thing it gives you is +1 to knowing when you're being watched and to avoid tails.
Would you say your drops each have a burner phone with them?
Each drop would have a burner phone.
So in order to get a burner phone, you need to go to visit one of your drops.
Okay. Probably don't want to use one of them then, just for this. The drops.
You can find a payphone eventually. It's just going to take, it depends on how well you roll, how quickly you're going to find one. Because a lot of them, their phones have been ripped off. A lot of them have pulled off, checked for money. No, the city doesn't keep up with them. It's not worth the money.
Do you know of any around here that's suitably far away from your bar?
You'd have to make the same roll. You make the same roll.
What is it? What's the roll?
It's going to be wits plus investigation.
All right.
Off the top of your head, you don't know one that's nearby. Yes, payphones still do exist.
Yeah, they do. But they're very few and far between.
They're rare now. Never mind in a place that's even like more crime-ridden than our actual world.
Correct. They're one of the only places left that you can find them.
Could I use Streetwise? Would that be something that I might be able to use?
Yes, Streetwise would work.
Okay. Got it. 3 successes.
There's a payphone about a 30-minute walk from here. It's about about half a mile north.
He's about 4 or 5 blocks out.
Seems far enough away. Shall we?
Yeah. Hey, great. I'm gonna be stepping out a while.
Oh.
Hey, yeah, boss. All right. He pops out from the kitchen. He's got a towel. He's quickly drying off his hands. You gonna be long all night?
I don't think so. And if I am, well,
I'll
make it worth a while. I appreciate it, bud.
Yeah, he smiles. You got it, boss. Have a good night.
Thank you, buddy.
And he kind of pops out, and you can see him throw the towel, opens the door, throws the hand towel back into the kitchen, and he just shouts, "I'll be out here!" And as the two of you eventually make your way out, the sounds of the bar fade, and then when the door shuts, all that chatter goes to silence as your feet meet the street, and you begin heading 5 blocks to the north. Any conversation the two of you would like to have, or would you like to push on?
How did you want to get there? Did you mind going by sewer?
You could get there. You're not sure. Ollie, make me a intelligence plus resolve, please. Memory.
You got it.
You're not entirely sure. You think it's faster to go through the labyrinth, and you know you could take him. It's up to you, though. He wouldn't learn anything. It's too much of a maze. If he lost sight of you while down there, it could be very bad for him.
Sure. Yeah, I don't want to spill those beans yet.
Sure. So stick to the street tops.
Stick to the street tops, or just the immediate sewer level that I'm aware of.
You could go with sewers as well. It would be safer for you. You wouldn't run into any mortals, but it would be the same length of time.
Then sewer. I'll opt in for it.
Okay. So not too far from your bar, there's a manhole that you regularly visit. Ollie reaches down with his fingers and very gingerly lifts up the giant heavy metal slab, and it kind of comes up with a scratch against the tar of the street. Opens up. Zach pops in first.
Zach pulls out little like plastic, like when you go around to like house viewings and stuff, like little plastic booties. Because I don't want to come out and then have to try and deceive someone who I meet by being like, yeah, why are your feet covered in shit? Like,
makes sense. So eventually you see you're pulling up the manhole cover, and then Zach immediately reaches into a bag and he's like, all right, and he starts putting on little plastic things over his
and looks at the
sheet.
handle, probably like some little plastic gloves as well.
Yeah. And then eventually he lowers himself down into the hole, the dainty thing that he has become. And then Ollie lowers himself down while gently placing the manhole cover back over, and the two of you begin to walk down the sewer. Like I said, it's about a 30-minute walk from here. Was there any conversation? My bad, or did you want to push onward?
So you said you left Dakota there. Alone.
She wanted to stay.
Did she have hounds with her?
Nope.
And did you tell her to be quiet and stay there? Not that it really matters, but did you at least suggest it?
I said, do you want to come back with me? Are you sure you want to stay there alone? I said the Inquisition might be coming now. They know something dodgy's gone down in the area. And she said, nah, I'll stay. And she was in one of those moods where she doesn't really change her mind.
Yeah, when her mind's set on something, she's pretty stuck on it.
And she's a big girl now.
Yeah. We're all big girls, Zach.
She can take care of herself.
Yeah, don't I know it?
And she's right. Someone should probably keep watching it.
I'm just afraid that something may have caught her eye.
Yeah,
I wouldn't put money. I wouldn't bet on it that she's going to be in the same place you left her.
I said if she has to leave, she comes back to your bar and we meet up there.
So what, we hop out and look, and she's not there, we just run back?
That's the alternate rendezvous point, yeah.
Alright, let's see what's up.
And so you walk in silence. The stench of the sewer kind of becomes the monkey cage effect, especially to Ollie. You don't have to breathe, but if you do decide to take a whiff of the old sewer, the smell of human waste just inflates and fills your nostrils. Eventually, you make it to the block on the street corner where there is a working payphone. It's got spray paint all over it, and you're surprised this thing even works. Ollie, there's rumors that this particular payphone is guarded by those who need it the most. Crime families. That's why it works. It's not too far from the manhole as the two of you climb up. You can actually see it in the distance right down the street. Nobody's around it, and there's not a soul on the street in the moment. It's too late. Who are you calling?
I'm gonna call her.
Her being your contact?
No. The person
woman who filed the
in.
report.
Oh, you're calling
Tip-off,
the
yeah.
woman's house. Gotcha. You call, and the phone rings, until eventually you're given voicemail. Hi, you've reached...
If it rings more than like 6 times, I'd hang up immediately on the basis if they can still track the call.
It's late at night. It's midnight. And school the next morning. It is a Sunday night.
I'll
you call again?
Wait about 30 seconds, just enough time for someone to wake up and be like, and then I'll call again.
Okay. So all you see, Zach, put in a couple quarters, punch in a little numbers, put the phone to his ears. He leans. Eventually he hangs up, keeps his hand on the handle for 30 seconds, then pulls it back up, pops in 2 more quarters, and dials the phone again. He rings. It rings. And there is no answer.
Okay.
Hang up again.
Hang up.
Coins fall out.
No answer.
Have you come back at this point?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, she's a teacher, right?
Well, either we make another call and risk our time here, or we just leave and call that gone.
It's burned. It's gone. We want to keep this phone safe. We don't want any more attention here than we need.
No.
So let's go to Dakota.
Shouldn't we get Ava?
Do we want to get Ava? She's not going to travel by sewer. You can phone her in, but BMW's going to be a little flashy for the area. Unless she happens to have like a Honda Odyssey. I don't know what she's driving these days.
I could go pick her up.
Sure. Tell me where this is again so I can go. I'm going to keep it company.
Same bridge for the last 2 nights. It's just, like, give them directions.
Okay. And you're going to go pick up Ava?
Yeah, I'm just wondering how I would contact her.
Good question.
It's
You know,
not
the
by
best way to
phone.
contact her is to show up.
You know what? Is there such a thing as...
I have a retainer also that is like my personal secretary type person. You probably know her.
Oh... yeah, that makes sense.
Are you talking about Vivian?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I can run a number of messages through enough people that it would be harder to trace, so I wouldn't have to call you direct. Yeah, sure. In which case, Ollie, scratch that. I can come with you. Just give me a second. And just text.
Texting Vivian?
Oh, text my retainer to text Vivian.
Text your retainer to text Vivian. Yeah.
My retainer just works like a switchboard when not needed.
And so the two of you are going to start making your way back that way. It's about, like I said, you know, you kind of you're going to haul your way back 30 minutes to the bar and then back to there. So it's going to be a bit of a walk.
Could
So
we
why
take a
don't
bus?
If you want to take public transportation, you're welcome to. You know the inherent risks.
Are there inherent risk with buses?
There's inherent risks with everything public transport and run by the government.
Good point, actually, if we're taking Ollie on a bus. Yeah.
I mean, you could probably blend in, but, you know.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Take the sewer.
And so you walk. So we'll pull the camera away from the two of you. And further, it will fly through the center of Chicago. Ava, you have a busy night tonight. Sienna has needed you tonight. I know you have a job, and the venture have asked the four of you, but when Sienna comes calling, you answer. She has a meeting with somebody very important, and she wants you there to take notes. You find yourself not too far from the rack, where there's plenty of food to feed on, at least later. Maybe about a quarter of a mile to the east, close to Northerly Isle, but not quite in Gangrel territory, still in downtown Chicago. It's a quiet bar, a VIP access room only, about on the 3rd story of this 4-story establishment. It's big. Whoever owns it has a lot of money, and they keep it flowing through here. You've actually only been in this place once, and much like this time, it was on business with the Camarilla next to Sienna. You've only ever been allowed to enter here while at Sienna's side. And the two of you have, like I said, a nice VIP lounge. It's big, could easily fit around 10 to 15 people, small events, small gatherings, but in this moment, it is just you and Sienna. The two of you have been having light conversation. She wears a thin black dress. It exposes almost every aspect of her body through a translucent mesh, with the exception of the important areas. There, it is completely covered. Enough to keep the mind and the eyes entranced, but never enough to give away everything. Once you give that away, that's when the secrets come out. And you've been there for about an hour. Like I said, light conversation. She's not talking too much. If you ever poke about who you're to meet here, it's never really answered. And as time passes, and you all go through a glass of wine, do you blush of life as she offers you wine?
Does it look like she's drinking the wine?
Yes, she always drinks the wine.
Okay, I will blush of life.
Raz, check, please.
Okay.
Okay, you have
Oh,
3
man.
hunger.
Yep.
But as always with Sienna's wine choice, this is some of the best stuff you've ever had. Aged. It's older than you have been a kindred at the very least. Eventually, the double doors swing open. They're nice, but they're not like solid oak wood double doors. You are still in a nightclub private establishment, but they're still nice with golden handles, but they're relatively plain. On the other side, you see 2 men in private security guard outfits who have been standing guard outside as they do every night. One is opening the door and he's got a wired earpiece to his ear. He looks to Sienna. She nods at him and he just nods to the other one as he pushes open the second one. And in walks a very familiar figure. One you haven't seen in a few years. Occasionally, you'll catch them at Elysium, but even then, ever so rarely. A rundown, what you once believed to be a Nosferatu. And learned eventually he was indeed La Sombra. Rudy steps in the room. He smiles at Sienna and gives it a polite bow, and then turns to Ava, smiles, and nods to you. Miss Ava, it has been a long time.
A long time indeed.
I hope all has been going well for you.
It's been quite lovely, thanks for asking.
Of course. You deserve only the best for the great things you've done for Chicago. And the great things you've done for our clan. De La Sombra specifically, of course, and he nods. Is it just the 2 of you, then? And Sienna smiles. Of course. I told you we'd have privacy. I have my seneschal here to take notes as needed. Please, why do you come to visit me tonight? You seemed like it was urgent. And he, as he takes a few steps forward, she offers him a glass of wine. He politely turns it down and looks for a chair nearby and sits while looking like he gets comfortable. He slouches in the chair a bit and he spreads his legs apart, does the whole man spreading thing. And he crosses his arms. Sienna continues to smile as Rudy just stares for a while. 5 minutes pass. 10 minutes pass. 15 minutes pass. He eventually stands after the tense silence lingers. And Sienna just smiles. Is that all? He nods. If it would do so well for you, milady, as you are the keeper of Elysium, do take message to the prince. I have done what she's asked. I request haven in downtown Chicago. She smiles and curtsies. I will pass along your request. Rudy, is there anything else I can do? He shakes his head. And he turns to leave. 15 minutes for 2 sentences of conversation. She smiles and looks down to Ava. That'll be all, my dear. Have you taken down what he said? Did you write down that he asked for haven and whatnot?
Yes, I did. Haven in downtown. What's that about?
He's done something for the prince. He's looking to be rewarded for it. Simple as that.
I see. I guess things that are more sensitive topics cannot be discussed around me.
She smiles. In time. In time.
I see.
Ava, my dear, please. You look upset.
I'm just confused as to why I needed to be here for this. For all of 2 sentences and 15 minutes of silence.
She giggles. Why do you think I had you here? You're a smart girl. You've been doing this for a while now. Those notes are important. It's always good to ensure that I have things on paper and on record. Do you think I'm stupid enough to meet a man like Rudy by myself?
Of course, but it's...
Ask, Ava, ask. Just ask.
What did he do?
She actually giggles. I have no earthly idea, actually.
Truly, you don't.
Truly. I was told to meet him here, hear his message, and return it back to the prince. I have heard his message.
Okay.
Whatever he did for the prince, I imagine it was important. That or he's lying, and he'll be killed for it. And I don't think Rudy is one to lie. When his life is on the line, of course.
How do you feel about him establishing a haven?
If it's up to me, I don't think any La Sombra should be welcome in Chicago, but that's not my place. They're dangerous.
They are.
They were Sabbat for a very long time. And anybody who would think that they aren't going to revert to their old selves is just fooling themselves. But those that are here, lawfully of course, have been abiding by the laws. And as long as they continue to do that, then we have no problems. It's not like they have a seat on the council, nor do they have any territory of their own. Rudy is a special case. He always was.
I agree with you. I think that there's nothing to worry about immediately. But he could be brewing something. It's best to keep an eye out. But regardless, I will relay the information to the prince.
No, I'll relay the information to the prince. I want you to keep your notes and keep them safe. But you're not wrong in being concerned, my dear. You never were. Put yourself in my shoes. What would you do tonight?
What would I do?
If you were told by the prince to meet Rudy, hear his message, and return it to the prince, would you have done that? Would you have done as I done?
No, I would have done just that. I think you're right. The La Sombra, Rudy in particular, they have their rights to be here, to speak with us. There is a long history with Rudy.
Yeah, oh yes, that's right. I have nearly forgotten.
I too have almost forgotten.
Well, less with you directly, I guess. More with one of your coterie.
Yes, with Ollie.
Right,
The two of them have a very interesting history. Not a very good history.
I think, my love, you'd be hard-pressed to find a sire and a child who have a good history. We're a rarity, and she smiles.
That's true. Come to think of it, I don't think I know anybody, any kindred, who have such a good relationship with their sire.
It is rare. Maybe one day you'll be in my position. And she kind of makes this grand gesture as she spins around and her dress twirls in the beautiful light of the VIP room. But that, of course, would require me to be somewhere else.
But of course.
All in time.
All in time. Well,
is that all? No more concerns you wish to bring up with me? Are you sure you're okay, my dear?
I am fine.
Well then, and she kind of twirls what's left of her wine glass, throws back the rest, and places the wine glass gently on the table nearby. I've got a busy night ahead of me, as I'm sure you do.
Yes, I should be checking on my coterie, as we have some things we need to take care of in the next few nights.
She nods. Well, have a good night then, my dear. And if you need anything, you know where to find me if you need me.
You
And
as well.
She just turns and turns her back to you and gingerly leaves the room. The door's open for her. It's almost as though the security guards knew she was coming. And down the stairs she goes, leaving you alone in the room. Eventually, I imagine Ava makes her way out of this VIP club, climbing down the stairs and eventually standing outside. But as you're met outside, your retainer, your chauffeur, as you approach him maybe a little bit down a block or so away, he walks up to you, meeting you before you even get to the car. Mistress Heloise, your brother, or should I say, what was the message exactly that you gave Zach? Meet at the stakeout spot?
It would be new update, something interesting. Meet at the same place we've been meeting the last few nights. And it would be from an unnamed number because that's all she uses.
Okay. He would simply say, a number I don't recognize reached out and asked you to meet at a place that you've been going to recently. Don't think you have to hear me say, please be careful. Messages from unknown numbers could be Second Inquisition or worse.
Yes, but I think I know what this message is referring to. We should be all right.
Where would you like me to take you tonight?
I'll tell him the location of where we were staking out, but I would like to go a few blocks away from it.
Sure.
In particular. I know it's not the best area, but I think we'll be all right. We'll manage.
Of course, madam. And he opens the back passenger side door for you and holds it open. As you step in, he shuts it and closes it behind you, walks to the front of the car, pops into the driver's seat. Before long, off you go.
In my dress, just hanging out.
Yep, in your
as
dress.
usual.
Yep. You look fantastic. You look
Yeah.
incredible.
This is gonna be
Dressed to the nines, as they say.
yeah.
But before we return there, the first thing I have to ask, as we return to the area where our coterie is going to be gathering, Dakota, have you just been watching this entire time? About an hour or so is going to pass before Zach and
She's
Ollie.
such a stalker. She just,
This particular man doesn't leave.
Damn.
At least not right away. He spends
Okay.
about another 30 minutes or so there before eventually it looks like he kind of just does one last scope of the area and then starts making his way out.
Oh, he starts to leave.
Mm-hmm. He stays for a while, but then he eventually leaves.
I want to follow him. I kind of want to follow him. Just a little bit. I'm going to follow him a little bit. I want to see which direction he's going and how he's getting in and out of this area.
Sure, Dex.
I'm sorry, was that Dex stealth?
Mm-hmm.
I get. I can hear Zach in my head going, don't leave, don't leave, don't leave.
No, the funny thing is if you're away and we come back and be like, I guess she bugged out and we're going to turn around.
That would be 6 successes.
Wow.
Wow. Dakota just nailed that. Stalky,
So-
stalky.
He begins to make his way out of the area, passing under the bridge and then hitting the main road, immediately heading north. And for how long do you plan on following him for?
I don't want to get too far out of this area because I know I need to come back. He starts heading north. I'm gonna follow him as far. Is he crossing into somebody else's territory?
Well, if he is Bruja, he's already in Ventru.
I guess that's true. He's already in Ventru. I mean, but is he headed like towards Chinatown?
No, he's heading north towards Cicero.
Oh, okay. Oh,
He's basically following the 50 directly north.
directly north, but he's on foot.
He's on foot.
Okay. All right. I will follow him probably a mile.
About a
So-
mile.
About a mile, I guess. Long enough till Dakota's satisfied. Like, I want to make sure he's actually headed like home. If it looks like he's like headed back to wherever it is that he calls that. So yeah, about a mile. And then I'll give up if it doesn't seem like he gets in a car. He doesn't, like, Dakota's trailing him to make sure he doesn't make contact with anybody else. If it seems like he truly is just on foot, she'll give up.
So for a mile, you follow this man up the 50, eventually away from that the feeding ground that you believe to be in. The buildings of the surrounding Lower West Side and Cicero begin to fill your view. Smaller buildings, 1 or 2 stories, most of them run down, but they are replacing the more empty area of the highway and the bridge. And he continues to walk north. He has brief conversation occasionally with somebody on the street who might hassle him for money or whatnot, but nothing that seems to be important. And he just continues to walk.
Dakota gets frustrated. She doesn't know what to do. She's so torn. All right. I'll turn around and go back. On my way back, can I find some food for the old lady? Eleanor, was that her name?
How would you like to find some food? Everything's kind of closed down at this point.
Okay, everything's closed at this point. It's just a pretty uninhabited area.
Mm-hmm. Food is going to be very difficult to find unless you want to do some breaking and entering.
But I mean,
and your
there's a restaurant with, say, trash bins and things out back, right?
You could find a fast food place. No sit-down areas in the nearby area. It's not enough money flowing through to have anything nearby.
To have anything like that. Okay. Yeah, I'll try fast food if it looks like somebody's out front, where I could maybe take it, where I could, I don't know, scare somebody into giving it to me.
Wits plus investigation.
Ooh, that.
You don't know this area super well.
That's true. 2.
You wander for 20 minutes. And you still can't find a fast food place.
Fuck it. Dakota goes back.
Okay. Eventually you make your way back. As you are looking there, wits plus awareness. As you arrive.
Always wits plus awareness makes me nervous. 3!
I genuinely love you for leaving when you left.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. When you come back, there are 2 figures. Zach and Ollie haven't arrived yet, so it's not them.
Okay.
The bridge. One is standing over another lying on the ground. You're not close enough to get details. You just see one standing over another.
Over the other. Okay.
What do you do?
Oh. I think Dakota's gonna probably try to stay under the radar, but not necessarily hiding. So she's going to probably just walk past again, try to be... I need to see what this person's going to do. Are they going to run? Are they going to try to,
But you're not stealthing? How far away do you want to stay?
Yeah, I guess I could stealth it. Let's stealth it.
Dex plus stealth?
Any better eyes? That would be 6.
Holy shit. That's incredible.
Hunter. She's a hunter.
Oof. Yeah. Okay. Beyond that, I also need a wits plus investigation for details.
Not an awareness.
Remember, you can always rouse the blood and give yourself a plus 1d10.
Yes, that's true. Yeah, I'll rouse. Oh, do I want to do that? Yeah. Rouse success. So no hunger goes up. All right, so I can add a plus 1d10 to it. Okay, and we said that was investigation wits 1. 3.
Okay. Dakota. You make your way back and you see 2 figures in the distance standing under the bridge.
Fuck me.
They do not look like the size of Ollie and Zach. Quickly making a decision and assessing the surroundings, Dakota decides to throw her hood up, walk past, and get as good a look as she can, crossing over the 50, making her way to the other side of the water. And so we see Dakota throw her hood up, covering her dreads exceptionally well, tucking them in where she can, and quickly hustling across, side-eyeing occasionally to get a good glimpse. Sorry, I'm going to ask you for one more wits plus awareness. I know it's a lot of rolls, but these are for very different things.
Wits and awareness. Do 4. Mastery critical.
Fuck. Okay.
Come on. Just tell me, Mathis.
Nom.
They're both alive. You can see it. They both smell and breathe. They're both mortal. At least you believe so. The one standing over the other is also covered in tattoos. None of them look kindred to you, though. No one recognizable. He is completely shaved bald with a clean face. His tattoos from the forehead over the top of his bald head, crawling down the back of his neck to a full back tattoo. Holy imagery everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
The tattoos crawl down his left and his right arms, and he stands over what looks to be a woman. A girl? She's young. Shoulder length hair. She looks to be unconscious, but she breathes. You can tell she breathes.
Fuck. Okay, if he's got religious symbols on him, Dakota can rightfully assume this is Inquisition. Can I assume that?
You assume what you want.
Okay. Fuck you, Mathis. Okay.
No, they just like, really like the iconography. They just really like having the
Here's the thing.
tattoos.
Here's the thing with Second Inquisition. There's government Second Inquisition. There's church Inquisition. There's lone hunters out there who don't associate themselves with anything. There's so many different versions of hunters in Second Inquisition that exist. It's dangerous to know what arm of the government they work for, if they work for an arm, and those arms of the government don't really even communicate with one another very well.
Right. Oh my god. Okay. Okay.
Does not seem to take notice of you as you quickly walk by.
But he is over this woman who seems to be... Are they communicating? Are they speaking?
Doesn't look like it. Not that you can tell. As you walk by, he's standing over her, straddling over her, and like I said, she looks to be maybe unconscious.
Okay. Dakota's gonna keep on her trajectory. I don't want to draw any attention. I've had a lot of critical successes to fuck this up. So, I'm going to take that information and I'm going to begin my trajectory kind of back to the area where maybe Zach and I met up. But I want to try to keep an eye on him, so I don't know if there's a way to do that. Obviously walking backward. Yeah, just kind of keep watching him side eye. I need to know what he's doing with this girl before I can make a decision.
Sure. So you watch. You quickly hustle across the 50. Again, he's straddling her. The other homeless don't seem to either pay attention or care. They're not bothered by it. And they're so far away that even if they were able to see what was going on, they wouldn't have the details. They'd have to openly walk over and start gawking at what's happening. And so you cross over and find a place to hide and watch for a while. Mm-hmm. This time with his back to you, or would you prefer him facing you?
Oh, I'd like to see his face.
Okay. So you move to a position where you can see his, hopefully and ideally see his face, wits plus awareness.
4.
He reaches into his shirt. He's got a button down on, but it's not buttoned up. You can see his chest a little bit. And as he reaches in, you actually see he has something duct taped to the inside of his shirt. He quickly rips it out. You can hear the tape ripping as it comes out. And what he holds in his right hand is a very crude, fashioned stake. Do you react? You have to choose this minute.
This minute.
Or do you let it happen? 3?
No, I don't.
Okay,
Fuck
what do
it.
you do?
I watch.
Oh, you watch. You don't interrupt.
No, I do not interrupt. Dakota's watching all of this go down.
Okay. As he stands over her and rips this crude stake, with a swift motion, he drops to his knees and slams the stake into the woman's chest. He lifts up stands over her. After that stake is plunged, you can see and even smell blood trickling from the wound. You're not that far away. And he gives a sigh of quick relief. He stands up, pushes himself off of his knees, grabs her by her throat, and drags her to where the road and the bridge meet, where there's a concrete wall with graffiti. He leans her up against the wall and reaches into his back pocket and pulls a pistol, leveling it at her head. Do you act?
Fuck.
5.
Yeah, Dakota would react at this point. Dot wouldn't, but Dakota would. This is so hard. Yeah, sorry, my cat's in the background making all the noise. Okay, yeah, she's going to run. Oh, okay, how am I gonna do this? I'm gonna rouse because I think, oh lordy, gang, I was not ready for this today. just supposed to stay put.
Okay.
Oh, this ain't even the fucking half of it.
I know. Fuck me. Okay. No. We're good. Dakota's going to rouse the blood and take on whatever it is to make her claws. Oh god, I still have to figure this character sheet out. Yes. Oh, that's on the front page. God,
Yeah, everything's on the front page now, mostly.
Yeah. Okay.
Down, right?
Yeah. So that would be feral weapons.
Mhm. Rouse check to extend.
Yeah, rouse
plus
check
2 damage, lethal damage.
Yep. Okay, so I'll get a Hunger Gang, but now because he is mortal. Okay, yeah. And I'm going to just make a run for him and try to, I guess, grapple him.
Okay, strength plus brawl check as you dash out from the open.
And it's a brawl, so I get 1 extra because of specialty. 7.
With a messy critical. He's not prepared, so he's not going to get many rolls, many dice on this particular defensive roll. It's all reactionary, 2. Okay. So, Miss Dakota, seeing what's happening, seeing him drag his body and hurl it up against a concrete wall, and as he pulls a pistol out of the back, instantaneously and very quickly, we see Dakota just lash her hands out from underneath the hood, and suddenly her nails crack and elongate, and her fingers become gnarled hairs, wiry hairs coming out from the knuckles, both knuckles of each finger, and her nails become true claws, and you begin to break out from the hiding spot, clamping down and stomping on the concrete as you push by the hiding area loudly. You're not hiding at this point anymore. As you approach, you're a foot away, maybe you move so quickly, he's able to turn his head, but not enough to react and not enough to defend himself. And you just plunge your claws into him, tackling him to the ground and rolling him away. His pistol actually goes loose and skitters across the ground as you land on top of him with your claws into his chest as he screams. Wits plus awareness as you see his face.
Okay. Wits.
No, sorry. Intelligence plus resolve.
Oh my.
That's the roll I need.
Okay. Alphabetical order says, where's resolve? Oh, I see. I got it.
It's a double attribute check.
Yep.
Oh no.
The beast. And miss. I just wanted to rip his face off.
Okay. Here's how this fail is going to work, and I apologize.
Oh, that's okay. I should mention that too. I do have, I don't know if it makes, sway them through mundane, charms, coercion, and wiles. So I do have unswayable mind, but it may not apply.
And you technically would have had a -2 on this anyway, because you have 4 humanity.
Right. Oh yeah, that he's immortal.
Mm-hmm. But it doesn't matter. A critical failure. When you see the face that greets you, as your claws are dug into his chest between some ribs, and he screams out at you as you level him to the ground, as he releases an unrelenting line and sentence of swears and insults at you. As he locks his eyes, you can see even like tears welling up, just how painful it is. He has piercing blue eyes. But this is what causes Dakota to stall, to stutter for a moment. Gives him a moment to pick himself up and rip himself from you and run away. You see something you weren't expecting. It takes a while to see through the ink, the tattoos, the shaved head. All of it, it hides someone familiar. Familiar because you swear you've seen pictures of him being taken care of by our mortal family here in Chicago. His bone structure. The way he smells. The way he looks. Such a familial resemblance to his father. Dakota roars, ready to rip his throat out. How dare he? But you stalled. He scrambles up, clutching at his chest. Pops a couple of shots at you as he scrambles over for his gun. And he scatters off into the city as quickly as he can. There's a woman behind you about to die.
Okay. Dakota probably lets out like a fuck. She turns around to check on the woman who still has a stake in the chest.
Yep. Blood trickling down. You roar, and as you roar, Zach and Ollie, you can hear it. You're about a half a block away. It's been about an hour. You hear Dakota scream into the night. We'll go to break here.
Okay, we'll be back in a few minutes. Feel free to enjoy some fan art. We'll be back shortly with that revelation.
Shit.
Catch you in a bit.
Great. Perfect.
Hello and welcome back to Vampire the Masquerade, Silence of Shadows, episode 3 after the break.
I think
Carry on.
season 1, things went off the rails. Episode 4 or 5.
When we started to get a grasp for the game.
Yeah, when everything started to go down. It's around the same time. Zach and Oliver, you hear Dakota roar in the background. It echoes in the streets. It's obvious. Now, a loud noise like that in the Lower West Side, while you may recognize it as Dakota, there's a lot of noise happening all through the night. Granted, it gets quieter the later it gets, but again, crime is happening constantly. What do the two of you do? You're not far. Do you pick it up, hustle?
Beat feet, man. Move quickly.
This one seems more your speed than mine. Do you need me?
Are we above ground or below? Still.
It's up to you. If you were going sewers, then you are above ground at this point. You're like half a block away.
Then, knowing myself, I'm probably gonna
sprint,
go above ground.
Okay.
And I'm going to utilize my obfuscate. Let's go silent and in biz.
Do you do the same, Zach? Or do you not? You got a Raz check for one of those, right, Ollie?
Yeah, I do.
Raz away.
I'm going to linger back, and I'll say, just stay in the sewer and say, let me know if the coast's clear. You're far better than I am in the fight, and you can get away quicker.
Okay. I move quick.
Okay. You see Ollie just nod to you, Zach, and in a moment he is gone. Just completely absent from your mind and invisible. You climb your way out of the sewers and you take hustle. Heavy steps, but you have such a large gate as well. You get there very quickly. Underneath the bridge, where you believe where you've been staking out, leaning up against the wall, you see a young girl. And standing nearby, where the shout emanated from, a Dakota with her claws out. There's blood on the ground near her feet.
Immediately assess the situation. Does she look injured?
No. The woman against the wall has a stake sticking out of her chest, but if you're talking about Dakota, no.
Okay. Is there a grate or manhole nearby?
No, and the closest one is where you came from.
Okay. Then I will call out.
You shout or talk to drop your obfuscate, or do you get within whispering distance and whisper?
I'm gonna move within whispering distance.
Okay. You get close enough to Dakota where you can whisper and you're pretty sure she'll hear you.
Hey, hound dog.
What?
Why'd you scream? What's wrong?
No fucking reason. Woman, steak, I go over to the woman, she's in like a torpor state?
Yes.
Torpor state? Okay. I put my hand around her throat to hold her to the wall and I pull the stake out.
Okay. With a quick yank, the wooden stake dislodges from her chest. Blood pools up around the wound and starts to drip down. What's your hunger at?
3.
Okay, you're safe for now.
Okay.
Blood begins to drip down. God, it looks good, but you've got more important things to worry about. And shortly thereafter, she starts to blink. And she starts to clutch immediately at her wound, and she starts to freak out. Then she looks up and sees you, and her eyes go really wide. When you finally lock eyes with this girl, she has brown eyes, and like I said, kind of shoulder-length, brown, darkish hair. You see the youth in her. She's older than your body is, but maybe only by a year or two.
What is your name?
She goes to like shout for help. She goes into breathe like
Put my hands over her mouth.
when she starts to scream.
I saved you. I just need you to answer a few questions and I will let you go.
Composure plus where is what I'm looking for? Oh, that's right. That's in the old.
Persuasion and subterfuge.
Darkness. It's gonna.
Can I intimidate her? I'd rather just intimidate her. I'll get a better roll that way.
Yeah, you're welcome to intimidate her. So instead of bargaining with her, what do you say?
I put my hand over her mouth and I say, it will only take one motion for me to slit your throat open and you'll never get to scream again.
Charisma plus intimidation. She's not mortal, so you don't take a -2.
Is there blood near? Like, is there any amount?
There's
of
blood on the
nearby?
ground. A little spatter of blood on the ground.
Whoops! 2 in the beast. Can I squeeze tighter?
You go and you go to you say those exact words, but they do not register. They don't. She continues to try and scream. So you wheel back with your right hand and open hand slap her across the jaw. She falls limp unconscious.
Great. I have a feeling this is one of the Thinbloods we've been hunting. We were supposed to collect one. Done.
Zach's back in the sewer.
Okay.
I'm gonna follow this blood for a little bit. Who was it? How many were there?
Well, that's kind of a long story. There were a couple here tonight. The one that put the stake through her chest was,
Inquisition?
possibly.
All right. Check back to the sewer. Zach waits.
There was also a Bruja who hung out here for many hours. I don't know that trailing is a good idea, Ollie.
Look, I'm not gonna jump the gun. Just want to see where it leads.
They're gonna go back to Inquisition. It's dangerous.
It could just be hunters.
They're not.
I'm just gonna watch. That's all. Trust, I'm a lot safer now. Things are a little different. Take it back to the sewer. Zach is waiting. Oh, and Ava's probably on her way too.
Great. We need everybody in on. We're still missing 2 Thinbloods. We need to get the fuck out of here, Ollie. You included. We need to deliver this piece and find the other 2 and lead them into werewolf territory. That is the plan. Trailing Inquisition is not as dangerous.
Oh man. Bub knows what Bub wants to do.
But what does Ollie want to do? We are not
Today's Ollie needs to keep things clean. It's got to be clean, and it's got to be dealt with. And Ollie's got to find this blood and who it leads to.
So you're gonna try and follow.
I'm gonna follow the blood. I'll be right behind you.
No, you won't, Ollie. You're literally chasing. You're chasing the devil. For what purpose? 1 Inquisition. 1 could blow all of this. Explain to me why that is important.
Because you decided to act. You act and they ran away.
Okay. You trust me, Ollie?
Of course I trust you.
Then do me a favor. Come with me. Do not follow that blood. And let's talk in private.
Can I... I'm gonna draw my handkerchief and I'm gonna dab the blood. Any blood that's on the ground.
Sure. You take out a white handkerchief from the pocket and get down to one knee. Gently and gingerly, just dabbing up a little blood, making sure it's on the handkerchief well, folding it up a couple of times, and you stick it back in your pocket. She doesn't see that. You're invisible.
Then I'll say fine. Fine, but we need to go now.
I agree.
Zach's gonna have a lot of words for this.
Zach always has a lot of fucking words.
As you're finishing up your conversation, you see drive by and take a right down the road and drive a few blocks. A very familiar BMW.
Time to catch a ride, kid. Let's go.
Okay. I guess I pick a girl up because I feel like a girl just floating through the air is probably more suspicious than a girl carrying a girl. So I pick her up.
Do you want to try and stay, out of sight?
Yeah, as much as possible.
You're carrying a body, so I'm going to give you a penalty of a -1 on that roll.
Okay.
You're always welcome to rouse the blood if you want to.
Dex and
Your hunger's
stealth.
at 3, so
And you said a -1?
a -1.
I don't need to end up eating her, so God damn it. 1 success in the beast.
You got takeaway.
Your hunger's at 3.
Yeah.
You're walking quietly. Nobody really sees you. I will offer you a messy success here. You won't be seen, but there will be a penalty. Do you accept?
Okay. Won't be seen, but there will be a penalty. Sure.
Okay. You drink from her quickly. You don't drink much. It's not like you lose control and drink her dry. You drink her just enough. Her blood is thick. Sweet. She's a female, and I know you have a feeding exclusion, but the beast doesn't care. Not right now, and not in this moment. And so you lap up 1 point of blood. It reminds you distantly, very, very distantly, not nearly as thick or as tasty as Bella's blood. But it does seem like kindred blood. It's good. It's very good. Eventually, you drop down into the sewer. Zach, you see the manhole cover lift, and you see familiar nails ripping open the manhole cover. The moonlight spills in, illuminating the dirty water that's trickling by your feet, and a rat scurries off to a nearby hole as Dakota lowers a body down first, and then lowers herself down.
Delivery. Wait, I thought we were getting in Ava's car.
Oh, is that where you wanted to go?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I pop the manhole cover up just enough for my, like, red eyes, I guess, to glow, and I say, our ride's here.
Probably shouldn't take a car that could be followed.
Okay. I rip the manhole cover up, and I go, delivery, and I drop her down.
A young woman comes through the hole and lands in a puddle of disgusting water, staining her clothes.
Is she conscious?
No.
Okay.
She has a wound in her chest, pierced by a hole, and a bruise on her, the side of her face.
I'll take a
Somebody
sample of
else.
her blood as she drops down and seems unconscious.
Somebody else was hunting Thinblood tonight.
What'd you say, Zach? I'm sorry.
I'll take a sample of her blood. And
In a
I'll
vial?
also... Yeah, with a vial. And I'll also do taste for blood on her. Which gives me basic traits.
Can you throw it in chat for people to see? Or I'll just look it up. Taste for blood. Dice pools. You got a resolve sorcery, blood sorcery for me.
And I will willpower
2 of
2.
those.
No, only 2.
Can't tell anything.
Yeah.
You see him quickly dab it, catch some blood, dab it on his tongue, thinks for a minute. Not enough time. You don't taste anything familiar. You stand up. Dakota, do you pop into the sewer as well?
Yeah.
Or do you- okay.
Yeah, I drop down, I pick up, I guess I can't see Ollie, he can see me, so he'll see me drop down, and I pick up the body and sling it back over my shoulder,
Ollie,
the girl.
So you see Dakota plop down, you hear the conversation, like, maybe we shouldn't pop into a BMW, easy to follow. So Dakota slides the body down into the sewers and follows suit.
I look around. Ollie, maybe go tell Ava where we are so we can have a quick talk, even if she doesn't stay down in the sewer for long.
I'm on it.
I'd be heading right to the spot where we were
Yeah,
sleeping.
I'd be like also intercept before she gets to the bridge since something went down there.
Basically, do you want to just bring Ava to the sewer?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
while Ollie's up there going to fetch Ava, I want to just quickly do the debrief with Dakota and be like, what happened? I heard screaming.
I got hungry, frustrated. Okay, fuck! There was a Brujah who hung out all night under the bridge. I sit there and I watched for a while. I assume Brujah based on the tattoo that was somewhere in, near, and around the elbow region. And then he left, so I trailed him for about a mile, and when I got back, there was more than likely an Inquisition member who was, staking said girl. I gestured to my shoulder.
I look at the giant chest wound.
considering the fact that it's one of the 3 Thinbloods we are to return, I felt it advantageous to step in.
Right, fair enough. Did they get away?
Barely.
It's very unlike you.
Ollie, you would eventually see Ava walking down, meet up with her. Unless you want to have an important conversation, it would take you not long to get back to the sewer, and the 4 of you would regroup. Down in the sewer, Ava, you would see as the manhole again lifts and the moonlight spills in, you would see the woman unconscious lying on the ground, with Zach and Dakota conversing with one another. The manhole opens and you see Ava looking down.
Sorry for the location.
It's fine.
She looks incredible.
Dakota, don't suppose you could go get me a sample of their blood if you spilled any? We can maybe trace them.
Sure.
I would assume I got the same brief of what Dakota just told Zach about what happened with the Bruja and all that.
I would have just said what I was told.
Okay.
If there's anything to add, I would relay it while Dakota go get the blood sample so we're on the same page.
Okay.
I will hand him my handkerchief so as to make it easy.
There you go. Dakota doesn't have to go anywhere.
Thank you.
So this is what we assume to be one of them.
I got kind of hungry. It's been a long night. Yeah, I tasted the blood. It's...
I'm a bit hungry myself, but
Don't drink that one.
I will control
That
myself.
is definitely a Thinblood. Yeah, I think we should maybe leave here now. We should go.
Okay, how about this? I agree, we should leave. Let me try talking with her when she wakes up.
I think we should do as we were asked and deliver her.
We can use her to find the other 2.
Yes, I will use something on her to see if I can try to find where the others are, where they hang out.
She both saw both of you 2?
Her?
Yeah.
No.
She only saw me.
Okay. What did you say to her? Did you play good cop, bad cop? Did she say anything at all?
I attempted to get information out of her once I removed the stake from her chest cavity, and she proceeded to scream, so I proceeded to intimidate her, which she didn't really like, so then I backhanded her, and now she's here.
Okay, we can work
Our
with
conversation was less words and more,
that. Ollie, do you have a
violence.
soundproof room at your bar?
No soundproof,
No.
but you have a couple feeding rooms in the back that are relatively private.
No, we can mute it pretty easily, though.
I will keep her calm. Don't worry.
I'm going to use Sense the Beast as well, because I just want to confirm she's a Thinblood.
Cool. Sense the Beast requires a rouse check, or?
Rouse check if I'm doing it deliberately, but otherwise it will ping passively. Sorry.
Yep. So, you take for a moment and reach out. You can show, yeah, exactly. She's unconscious, so she's not going to be fighting too much here, clearly. You do sense the beast in her.
Okay. In which case, if you're okay, Ollie, we'll debrief her at the bar.
Yeah, I guess. I guess this is what we got to do.
You're not comfortable with it?
It just doesn't feel right. How many times have we walked away from something that was unfinished? How are you at all okay with this?
I'm not, but if we run away very, very quick, or you and Dakota go out and just hunt them down before they can get anywhere and kill them off. Dakota's quite good at tracking blood, right?
Yeah, but she didn't exactly want me to go.
I don't. It's...
Look,
you want us to
you can be
trail
invisible.
a injured?
The Inquisition comes in several types. There come agents of Leopold who church-loving, Bible-bashing, want to kill you because you're an abomination to God. Intelligence agencies, in which case you might already be dead because they might have got video of you, but there would probably be more of them. Or there might be just separate groups of people who just don't like vampires for some reason. Maybe you killed their father, maybe you murdered their mother, whatever.
I think we should stay focused on the job, personally.
I agree.
You think Mr. Johnson's going to be okay with the fact that now the Inquisition are definitely confirmed. Hanging out in Venture territory because they spotted a kindred, like clearly. If he's got other SI friends, well, they're just going to be coming in droves like ants. That's going to be our fuck up there, too.
I think Ollie's right. And either Ollie goes by himself and checks out invisibly. If he can take him out, then he takes him out. If he can't, he leaves. Or he gets a view
Fuck,
decoder.
it was Rowan! The Second Inquisition that shoved a pretty little stake through this bitch's heart. Ollie, I'm telling you, it was your son.
No, it's not impossible. It's not possible. I seen Rowan's in school.
Is he now? Because he stared me in the eyes tonight, and the only reason he's still alive is because he looked at me, and I knew that fucking face.
When was the last time you saw him, Ollie?
Storyteller, when was the last time I was allowed to see him?
You get once a year visits, and they're always quiet and never allowed to interact with anybody. But you get to see, like, you see him.
He was covered in tattoos.
He is not covered in tattoos. He has a full head of hair and he's clean shaven.
No, he's getting ready to finish college. He's a fucking frat boy.
I would like to insight check Dakota, because I want to assess her state of mind and whether she is maybe accurate or not.
There's no need for a roll. It sounds like she believes what she's saying. Whether that means it's actually Rowan or not is up in the air, but at least Dakota seems in the moment convinced. You also know she screamed, and that usually means the beast takes over, and how much can you rely on that?
Okay.
Believe me or not. But if you want somebody to track this Inquisition, I don't think it should be Ollie.
Are you sure, Dakota? It's been 10 years.
The beast stopped. Zach, my beast don't stop.
Oh no, I have to go.
Yeah, if anything, you shouldn't go alone.
Why was this? You said a brouhaha. Why was the brouhaha hanging out? They were in the same spot.
I don't know. I haven't figured that piece out yet. They were hanging out all night. The homeless in the area didn't seem to recognize him or know him. He might have been new. I don't know. He was also covered in tattoos. Carried a rather large pistol in his pants, probably compensating for something.
So very likely some sort of Second Inquisition. Probably not one of the intelligence agencies.
The tattoos didn't match because, like, I trailed him off and then came back, and Rowan was there, right? Okay, yeah. I possibly I followed him north about a mile, and then came back to meet the two of you, which is when I found Rowan putting a stake through the Thinbloods' heart.
What did the brouhaha look like?
I mean, you want me to sketch you a picture? He was was he well built?
Yeah, I mean, it's not like he was like fucking.
He was a fucking dude. He had tattoos all over him. Right in this general area was a brouhaha tat. He was shirtless. It was kind of nice, and he had a pistol in his pants. I couldn't get quite close enough.
Did he have hair? Did this Rowan have hair?
Rowan had no hair.
And the other one, no hair at all either.
The brouhaha was bald as well?
No, he had a short little.
Oh, that's right. He had one of those fucking, the man buns, a top knot.
All right. I'm
No.
I gotta go look.
Okay, wait. Ava, Zach, can you get her back to the bar?
Yes.
Another route we took.
Great.
Storyteller, can I roll a memory check for the route we took here?
It's the sewers. You'll figure it out.
Okay.
You don't need to memory it.
Cool.
I'm gonna go with Ollie.
Go after Rowan. That
Be
trail's
careful.
fresh.
Be extremely careful.
And that's my sister saying that.
So the party splits. Zach and Ava stay in the sewers and begin walking with this Thinblood over your shoulder, heading back to Ollie's bar. While Dakota and Ollie climb back out of the sewers and start making their way to where there was a little blood, hoping that there's some trail, some track that they can follow somewhere, maybe get some answers. And so we'll follow Dakota and Ollie first. It's not a long walk, a couple blocks away from the manhole before you're back under the 50 bridge. There's the blood spatter on the ground that you dabbed your handkerchief in, and over by the concrete wall, you see a little blood over there. However, on the other side of the 50, a small little audience has began to gather. There's been quite a lot of activity over here in the past 20 or so minutes, and those who were occupying themselves over by the tents and so on have now started to make their way to the edge of the little waterway that runs through the 50, and seem to be chatting with one another. A couple of them even starting to climb down and head over. I see you. Eleanor is there. She is on the other side. She's not one of the ones climbing down, but you see her. And Dakota, you make your way over. Ollie is presumably continuing to stay obfuscated.
Yes. I purposely not picked up anything that would break that.
Great.
Yep.
I cover up again, kind of hiding my face, and I walk up to Eleanor. So, what's happening?
She's oh, you walk your way over to Eleanor on the other side. Got it.
I just kind of like I'm gonna try to mingle. I'm just gonna try to mingle in with them.
She kind of she has a look of relief that crawls over her face. She places her arm. And she's like, "Oh, sweetheart, I'm glad you're okay. Oh, some terrible things were happening. There's a lot of noise and there was a scream. And we just coming over to see what's going on. We wanted to wait for things to clear out in case, things were dangerous for all of us."
It looks like it's gone now.
Yeah, it definitely looks like, as a few others are climbing up. She's like, they're going to check some things, but you're okay, and I'm glad to see that.
You too, Eleanor. This happened often in this neighborhood.
Every night. She kind of like gives an uncomfortable laugh.
So, nothing new, I guess.
No. She as you kind of like looking for words, she's like, I'm just happy there's no body. It means we don't have to call the cops.
Yeah, nobody likes the cops anyways, right?
She gives a wide-eyed nod.
Nobody needs the fucking cops. Well, as to not maybe be involved in the next round of excitement, I'm gonna find a place to rest my head.
She kind of gestures to behind her, offers again, we got plenty of space if you need a place for the night.
Oh, I appreciate it, but
might be better around here to stay with the group.
Yeah, I should actually go check on my group.
Oh, I thought you were going to be alone tonight.
Oh, Eleanor, so caring and empathetic.
She laughs. Who else is going to look out for us other than ourselves at this point?
You have the damn truth.
Yeah,
Keep your eyes open, and I'll be back. Let me know if you see anything out of the ordinary, more than your average murder.
She kind of gives you a nod and a wave.
And maybe next time I'll come back with more than a cheese sandwich.
She's gives you one of those disbelieving kind of head shakes. And it's been a while since I've had anything decent.
All right. Well, we'll have to see what we can do about that.
All the while, presumably, Ollie, you're looking for trail, something to follow, more blood spatters to indicate a direction he went. So I will need an intelligence plus investigation.
Oh. Okay.
I'm about to send you a message, Mathis, just for my knowledge.
Sure.
Hey,
success.
I got a success.
I'm so proud of you.
I am very proud of you too. You find the blood, and it's smeared in a way where you realize, and there's a few drops that lead in a very particular direction. You know the general area in which you believe to have gone, but once you walk out from under the bridge and onto the sidewalk, the trail disappears. He could have gone down any alleyway into any one of these buildings, or just kept walking down any one of these streets. If he was bleeding and then he quickly put pressure on the wound to stop much blood from going anywhere else.
Is there can I use streetwise to determine if there are any like street docs or anything like that locally that might be open to treating this kind of thing?
You could put the word out amongst the homeless and see if you could pull anything from them. Since you're not in your neighborhood, however, it would be what's your influence with homeless too?
Yeah.
So it would drop down to 1. You could do I would do wits streetwise +1 to gather information from the local homeless to see if there's any street docs that they know of.
Got it. Three successes.
There is one that the homeless tend to go to, a charitable doctor who actually works in downtown, but on his days off, he actually comes to the Lower West Side and treats those that need it on the street. He won't be back here until tomorrow night, however.
Okay. Do they have a name for this person?
They'll give you a doctor's name. Yeah. I'll give you a name real quick.
Okay.
I can't see Ollie, so I'm just going to assume he knows I'm there, and I'll try to trail the blood as much as possible too. I mean, I can't really, since I can't see him.
So the name you're going to end up getting, and this is going to come back to you hours later. You put the word out into the homeless, and they kind of mill about for a while and kind of put the word out. But eventually you get the name Tina Byram. Dr. Byram. She runs her own little they call it a clinic, but really it's just a small little apartment on a first floor somewhere nearby that most of the homeless keep safe on their own because she does good work for the town. So in turn, they protect her when she's around.
Perfect. Sounds like a good person for Ollie to get to know.
Mm-hmm.
Very much so. But that info will not reach your ears for a few hours later.
That's fine.
Well, when you're back at your bar. So eventually you come back after looking and tracing the blood, not finding it, meeting up with some homeless. In order to meet up with the homeless, you'd have to drop your obfuscate. So you would need to re-go invisible if you want to. That's up to you if you would choose to.
Sure. Yeah, that's fine.
So just Raz, check me your re-obfuscation. And eventually you'd see Dakota finishing up a conversation with some of the people on the other side. When you come back, you see that the group there's a couple people who've already crossed over on the other side. Someone's crouched by the blood. You hear them like, oh God, I wonder what the hell happened here. What do you think it was, like a drug deal gone wrong? And that kind of thing. So already rumors are starting to build up over here, which is always a good sign to Ollie. If there are rumors already starting to circulate, then that means the waters are already muddied and whatever was seen wasn't specific enough for them to run to the cops.
Cool.
And obviously Dakota learned that by talking to them.
By talking to everybody. Yeah. And I will feed. I'm going to feed all that. Oh yeah. Sounds just like a fucking drug deal. Some nasty ass gangsters. Like I will feed to the homeless as much as possible. That like mentality of it was just street and gang violence.
So what? To see how well you end up doing, go ahead and manipulation subterfuge as Dakota actively attempts to spread lies.
Oh no, gang.
That's the best dice pool.
That is worse dice pool. We're gonna rouse the blood just to get a little extra something. Okay, great. More hunger. God, I'm never gonna get over my hunger this game. Okay.
No, it's gonna be way more important in season 2.
Yeah, you said subterfuge.
Manipulation subterfuge.
Okay, and I'm gonna get 1 extra now. 1 in the beast. So, God, beast is just raging this season.
You're doing your best. We'll just put it that way.
I'm trying. Dakota's trying
really
so hard.
You really need to take something like influence homeless people.
Really need some I really just need a good Valium.
Great.
Oh, and you get
Pandemic
minus.
Valium?
I apologize. You were supposed to take a -2 on that roll as well.
Oh yeah, no. So I failed hard. I failed so hard.
Would you do me a
Gotta be.
favor? Can you do me a favor and re-roll that with a -2?
Yeah, I
Gotta be
sure
the Kings.
can. Okay, so
Humanity 4.
okay. You said it was manipulation?
Manipulation.
I got the 1 extra.
Manipulation
extra.
subterfuge -2.
-2.
But I added.
So you're rolling straight 2 hunger dice. Or
Hey,
1 hunger
tasty
dice.
snack.
No, 1 hunger die.
You're rolling
Yeah.
1 hunger die.
Okay, hang on.
Could you tell them it was a drug dealer hunger snack? You look tasty.
Fuck me.
Oh my god, 0 and a beast.
Yeah.
I'm trying so hard. Dakota's never made a drug deal in her life.
Dakota, they're talking about drug deals, and you try your best to the point where it's almost like you're trying too hard.
Yeah.
And suspicion starts being cast on you.
Fuck, I need to get out of there.
As you're trying to, and people have gotten a very good look at your face over the course
Sure.
as you've been talking. So you're like, oh my, yeah, it's been heroin, right? Oh, heroin deals are real nasty out here.
Everybody still does acid, right? Meth?
And then eventually even Eleanor is like, do you want to talk about anything? Like,
now look at Eleanor, I'm like, I'm tired. I need to go home.
All right, well, if there's anything that you need to, like, you know where to find me. And, like, there's genuine sympathy. Like, she almost feels really bad. Maybe even suspecting that you're somehow mixed up in all of this.
Great,
but you quickly cut off the conversation as quickly as you can. And eventually you walk off. And Ollie, as you're coming back, you see Dakota walking away.
I'm going to guide her if I can.
Yep, you can easily catch up, and eventually you head to the sewers where the two of you plop inside.
Great, perfect. We need to chat anyways.
Did Zach and Ava want to have a conversation on the walk to the bar? Or was it pretty quiet? Quiet? It's fine.
For the most part, there will be a small, like, tactical session where we talk about, like, how to approach this with her.
Sure.
I'd also take out, like, a very thin wooden stake and just push it back in the hole just so she's definitely unconscious.
Absolutely. She goes into torpor instantaneously.
Yeah, just so in case she wakes up, we don't have a problem. Well, that worked rather well. So, how have things been with you?
Fine. Just had some things I was doing with Sienna tonight.
Anything interesting?
Yes, actually. Very interesting. But perhaps we will talk about it at another time.
Why not now? We have an unconscious person and no one's around.
Well, keep this between us for now. You and me.
And maybe later the Nosferatu have rats all around here.
Right. I don't come down here very often, so I don't... Perhaps let's talk about it later.
I just realized Dakota yelled that in the sewer.
Yelled... Oh, yeah. Well, let's just hope there were no rats. There are no rats around.
I wanted to meet in the car, and everybody else wanted to meet in the sewer.
I would have gladly met in the car.
And Dakota was trying to be like, maybe that's not a good idea. I'm trying to be subtle. Nobody reads her subtlety, so...
Her subtlety's normally brick in the window or nothing, so...
I mean, there is still... I know it's crazy, but there is still whispering.
Yeah.
I'm quite hungry. Perhaps when we get to the bar...
They might have a snack for you.
Yes, before I do anything with this girl.
I'm thinking we take the approach that she was hunted down, that associates of her found her, although they aren't particularly subtle, and we apologize. Ingratiate ourselves, tell her we need to find her friends before they're hunted down too. That's simple.
Yes. I think that's fine. We saved her life. I'm her rescuer. And I will try to use something new that I recently learned. Sharing some senses, perhaps. To see if it'll help me uncover some more information about where she hangs out, the people she knows, if we can find them. Let me do my thing, Zach. It'll be fine.
By all means.
You're giving me that look, like...
Well, when you say learn something new, it can often be something else entirely, so...
The Destiny's got to go use the little boy's room real quick.
Okay. So...
I think... Okay, I really what I want to talk about. I can't talk about because we're in the sewer.
I would love to have a talking time that wasn't in the sewer, but Destiny's left at an awkward point.
Yeah.
So when we get to the other end, you do realize we've got to get a body out of a sewer, down the street to Ollie's bar.
Yes. Yes, we should have just taken the car. I get the whole being trailed thing.
Well, last time we went anywhere near that region, your car got trailed.
There's risks either way. So this is going to be a risk.
Maybe what you should do is go in by yourself, talk to the barman, and he likes you. Just say, hey, can we have some help? There's someone we need to just transport into one of the back rooms. She's not particularly well. He comes out and helps you. We carry her in. He's known in the area. He runs the bar. People go in all the time who are out of their mind and need help.
You would think Ollie has some secret entrance or something to get into his bar, but...
Probably all the stuff he needs to move in and out and all the people who are unconscious and hopped up on things or whatever.
But it's all right. I'll go talk to... What was his name again? I should probably remember these things. Grant. I'll talk to him. And see if we can get her in.
In the meanwhile, further back in the sewers, Ollie and Dakota plop down.
Ollie.
So, can you not hunt then?
What do you mean?
Before, I remember you've been more keen on your senses. You could pick people up, sense things. It's not really my bag.
I mean,
if we got trail of the blood, can you not follow it?
I mean, I tried, right? Right, Storyteller? I tried and the trail ended.
I thought she stopped to talk to the homeless.
Same thing. Attempting to follow the blood ended up leading to a dead end for her.
Yeah, I probably did a little bit
gotcha.
of both. I would have trailed it till it hit a dead end and then gone back to try to get more information. Was at least the way I thought it played out.
Gotcha. Okay. Then let's go back.
Ollie.
Look, I've been looking after Rowan, and I go at least once a year. Every time I go, he's fine. You're not gotten mixed up to any weird shit.
Are you sure?
When was the last time I went to see him?
It's been about 3 months, probably. Usually it's beginning of the summer you go see him. We're now moving into fall.
Yeah, I'm positive he's got a full head of hair and a bright future.
Maybe I am crazy.
No, I believe you. I believe what you saw, but
It doesn't make much sense.
Before this, I looked like a few people. And I don't know, maybe it was just uncanny.
Yeah.
Is that where you want the conversation to end?
No, but I'm not really sure what to say. I mean, I guess Dakota's trying to read where Ollie's mental state is at, knowing this.
I was probably just going to stay super focused. Probably quiet. Almost more quiet than normal.
Ollie, you know what it means if Rowan is...
If he's a hunter, the Camarilla would know before anybody else.
Would they?
They're the one that set him up with the family. Don't you think they got eyes? They've been watching him. How else do you think you keep the butcher under the thumb? What was the one way to hold me down previously, Dakota? You put my boy in a pinch. I learned that. But he's a man now. And what he does is entirely up to him. I just needed to see him become a man. It's good to see him, but our worlds can never cross.
So, you don't care that
No, I
in
can't.
the last year your son has shaved his head, gotten body tattoos, gone off the deep end and started putting wood in people's chest?
I have no idea what could have happened, but that would have had to take place in 3 months. 3 months' time.
So then it can't be Rowan.
No.
I really am fucking crazy.
Could just look like someone else.
Yeah. Like someone else.
But I will have to see it with my own eyes.
The rest of the walk is rather quiet. The first ones to arrive at the bar are Zach and Ava. I imagine you said one of you wanted to go up there and meet up with Grant first to have him meet you somewhere to take the body inside?
Correct.
Who would go to meet Grant?
I would.
Okay. Ava, you climb your way out of the sewers, not too far away. Walk up the sidewalk. It's late. The bar is closing in about 20 minutes. As you head downstairs and open the steel door, Grant's sitting behind a bar serving a drink to only 3 people. The place is emptied out for the most part. No faces that you recognize, but then again, you're not really often here. Grant looks up, looks down, and then double takes when he realizes it's you, and a big, toothless smile crawls across his face. One front tooth and a few on his bottom, on the bottom, and his what little wiry hair he has left, combed as best it can. He wears a polo shirt and khakis. It's the most dressed up you've ever seen him. This is the second time. He flashes a wide smile. I wasn't expecting to see you, especially after closing, but I'm sure we can make an exception.
Thank you, dear.
Course. What can I do for you?
Look, there's my brother and we have somebody who she's unwell, and
I see.
we're looking for a place that maybe we could leave her.
Say no more. Well, lead me. And he pops the door to the kitchen out back. Hey, yeah, I'm going out for a bit. Can you just no, kitchen's closed anyway, so you don't have to give anybody food. Just top them off if they need it. Oh, and yeah, this guy right here, and he points to the middle guy. He gets a free one on me. And then Grant walks. He's like, all right, lead the way. And he follows with pep in his step.
Okay.
You lead him to the manhole cover.
Yes.
He doesn't seem phased at all. He leans over. What do we got? And he kind of speaks that into the sewer hole.
Woman needs to go to one of the back feeding rooms, and we can have a quiet chat with her. Ollie said it's good by him.
He drops down to his knees and puts half his body into the hole, and he reaches down with 2 of his hands outstretched. As like, all right, let's do this together. And you hoist up and lift, and he struggles. He doesn't. It's not like he can't do it. Actually, let's find out. Can he not?
Oh dear.
Not very strong. It takes a minute, and it's a lot of work for me. He's struggling, and even Ava probably has to grab his legs to hold him steady as Zach is pushing up. But a bit slides her up. You can see like part of her shirt is getting dragged on the concrete, staining it with a black tar, ripping apart on the side. But eventually, she comes all the way up. He's like, okay. Are you gonna make me carry this thing?
Is it normal for you to carry people in who are out?
Do you think it's normal? Ollie works here.
Is it normal for people to be carried in who have had a little bit too much and need somewhere to rest it off?
Sometimes. It's not abnormal, so...
In which case, we'll just carry her in, like normal.
He
I grab
kinda
the legs.
He pushes himself, stands up, and dusts himself off. He's like, I'm just saying it would be a lot of work. Eventually...
I hand over like $20.
Yeah, and he takes it, pockets it. It's like, thanks. Who I assume Zach is the one that's going to pick him up and throw her over her shoulder.
I pick up the legs. I get him to pick up the like front of the torso under the arms.
Sure. He leads you through the back. Now, it doesn't really ever hit the sidewalk, just a couple of back alleys and back passageways until eventually you're led through the door. There is a back entrance he'll lead her into that will lead to the feeding room hallway specifically. And he will open up the first one there. There's only 2 rooms back there. He opens the first one, adorned very similar to the other one that you have been in before. And he gestures his head. He's like, you put her in there, and
Okay.
Ollie coming back tonight.
Yeah, he'll be back shortly. Would it be okay to get a little bit of privacy around here to have a chat with her? And also, Ava needs to feed.
He lets out a big sigh. He's like, well, there's only a couple people left out there right now, and there's nobody back here. If you need to feed, we might be able to help you by tomorrow night. The one we had that was here left a couple nights ago.
It's quite all right. I think I can manage for the night.
You sure no one out there takes your fancy, Ava?
Well,
just if you're gonna make sure nobody else is around and nobody sees you.
I'll be all right. Tomorrow night, I'll go out and go somewhere a little more my speed.
Have it your way.
If Ollie or Dakota get back, ask them to not interrupt us in the back. Just knock on and let us know they're here.
Sure. And he kind of gives you this like incredulous look, like you're really telling me what to do with Ollie. And he steps out and shuts the door and heads to the front. What do you want to do with her while you are in this room for a little bit of time before Ollie?
Pull out the stake.
Yeah, let's get right to.
We already have an approach we're going to try.
Yep.
She's still unconscious when you pull the stake because she was knocked unconscious before you staked her. So it's going to take a little bit of time to heal, but it doesn't take very long. In fact, it takes a lot quicker than maybe even you were assuming. The blood is already dried, and the wound itself has closed itself up. And before long, she does a couple of long blinks and looks around and looks confused. Do you do anything?
I'll have the hoodie off by this point, just the shirt. Mm-hmm. I'll have a small, like, padded cloth, which is a bit water, and just trying to, like, clean her up a bit.
When you reach down and actually touch her with the cloth, it's the feel of the water catches her off guard. She was kind of in a daze looking around, and that snaps her attention, too. She kind of jolts when it's as she looks over to you, and then she pushes herself back and pulls her knees up to her chest and clings to them tight, and she just keeps half of her face behind her knees as she looks at both of you with wide eyes darting back and forth between the two of you.
It's all right, dear. You're safe here. We found you on the street, unconscious. Wanted to make sure you were all right.
Okay.
Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid.
You're one of us.
What do you mean? I'm not one. What? I just want to go home. Can I just go? What time is it?
Okay.
She goes to reach and like look for her purse as though she's going to grab her phone, but realizes very quickly that her purse is not there, and she scrambles and then pulls her knees back to her chest.
Long walks at night. Not fond of sunlight. Drink a lot of red wine.
There's the darting back and forth stops, and she locks her gaze strictly with you, Zach. You let that last sentence linger in the air a little bit. And eventually, she does speak a few seconds later. Is this your fault?
No, I don't know whose fault it is.
You didn't do this to me.
Who did?
I don't know. But do you know who did? Do you know what's happened?
I don't know what's happened. We know what you are.
Well, then
we're just here because we found you. Don't. And as I see her kind of like exasperated, I'm gonna use my awe on her to try to maybe calm her a little bit, have her just kind of focus on me.
Good. Throw awe up in the chat. Unless you
yeah.
don't have the description, I can always look it up for you.
I have it.
Okay. This does not require, I believe. Yep, it's free. So anyone in the presence of vampire is inexplicably drawn. Blah blah blah. Manipulation is plus presence plus her composure versus her composure and intelligence. And it lasts what an hour plus an hour per success.
Yeah. Manipulation.
One scene or until intentionally ended. Got it.
Where's presence? I'm just gonna roll this. Manipulation plus presence. Where is?
So if you just click, it's for you. It's manipulation plus presence. If you just click manipulation, there should be a drop down.
Oh yes,
Then
yes,
not
yes.
give what you need.
Plus
If you have
discipline?
presence, you
Oh,
should
presence
be able
is
to.
your
Yeah.
is your ability. Cancel that. There you go. And what is it that you say to her when you strike this power?
Don't be afraid. It's all right. And I kind of like move my arm in to kind of like gently caress her shoulder and try to calm her down.
Oof.
You go to reach out, and Zach, you've seen Ava do this before. It's so bizarre. It's not even as, it's almost as though when she thickens her blood and forces herself to be the center of attention in the room, it's almost as though for you at the very least, maybe it's same for other kindred, but it more draws the attention of your beast. It distracts the beast. It pulls you towards her. Now you can resist it. She's your sister and she's not attempting to draw your attention. But even when that first instance, when the blood is roused, it's hard not to just look at your sister and see pure, unadulterated power in her. You touch her hand and tell her to calm down, and her eyes are locked with you. And when you initiate this awe, you can see her pupils dilate before your eyes. She's drawn to you. They do say when somebody sees something they desire, their pupils dilate naturally. But as you touch her and tell her not to fear, you can actually feel her flinch and pull herself closer. And she shakes her head. What am I and what are you? I don't.
Look, I know you're going through a lot right now, but the shorthand answer is vampires, we don't sparkle though.
When you... Go ahead, Neva.
You are undead. As am I. Feel your skin. Feel my skin. It's cold to the touch.
As you hold out your arm, she very quietly raises a shaky right hand and she places her fingertips just on your skin. With the moment, she quickly retracts them and pulls them back. She looks like she's about to lose herself and maybe even start having a breakdown, but she quickly gathers herself together, and when she pulls her hand back, that's not real. I'm sick. I'm sick. I'm sick. I've been...
Hey, it's okay. It's okay. Calm down. I know it's a lot to take in. However, there are people up there who want to just kill everyone like us.
When you say kill everyone like us, she just goes flush.
Look, there are bad people in the world, and unfortunately, you happen to bump into a few bad people. It's probably because you're fresh and new, and this is all new to you. That
is that why you took me away? You're gonna put me and hide me away forever, or kill me, or...
No.
I have to take care of my family.
We'll take care of them. Don't worry.
You promise?
If they want to be taken care of. We're concerned more for you and for the fact that you've got friends who are...
You said... She cuts you off. You said we're undead. We're undead, right?
Not really. It's...
Can you bring...
Not like that, no. You...
Well, technically...
Wits plus empathy. I mean, wits plus insight, sorry.
I'm not going to roll. I've got an angle I want to play on this one.
Sure.
Already without knowing anything more. Some of us can. There are not many who have those abilities, though.
Listen.
I'll stop. I try to stop. Okay, I don't do it on purpose. I'm just... There's got to be a way to fix it, right? Like I've been listening to some podcasts and I've been doing some research, and there's this mental illness that makes you think that, blood is necessary to live, and you drink it and you wear it and stuff. I think there was a serial killer from the 60s or something. Maybe that's what I have. Maybe I just need to go see a doctor. That's all I need.
Somebody's been listening to your podcast.
It's normal to think this way. Normally when this happens, there's somebody who's like you who's done this. And it helps you understand better.
She starts shaking her head very, very vigorously.
Whoever did this to you just left you with no understanding of what happened.
And that shouldn't happen. In our society, we make sure people take care of those they bring into it. Whoever brought you in without telling you anything, well, they get punished under our society if we knew who they were, because that's unfathomably cruel. But right now, we're concerned for the fact we know you have two friends who are just like you, just like us. And apparently, those bad men you met earlier tonight are hunting you. We saved you. We don't know where your friends are. They'll go after them next.
Yes, you have
know them
friends
through
that are friends that are like this, right?
You hang out together. You were at school together.
I don't go to school.
Well, how did you know them then?
Are you going to tell anyone?
Us. We're going to try and find them and help them before they can catch up with them. Because we've saved you. They can't get to you now. You're safe.
You promised you want to help us, not kill us, not like them.
Sure.
No.
Manipulation plus persuasion, both of them.
I am definitely doing a lie. Can I manipulation subterfuge?
Yep. Absolutely.
I'm gonna definitely willpower that. What, 7 dice and I get 1?
Oh, yeah, that's fine. 3. Wait, 3? I see 2.
1 on the additional one from earlier.
Oh, gotcha.
3 total.
3 total for you. Both of you. She kind of just nods. They're not my friends. One's my brother, and one's my brother's friend.
Okay, we need to get to them quickly to save them. Those men we managed to get to run away, and they're injured, but they'll come back.
She shakes her head. I don't know where my brother's friend is. We got into a fight, and he ran off.
Do you have his phone number? What's his name?
Isaac.
Last name?
Shit, what I can call him. Oh, right, Evans.
Do you happen to have his number?
I did that to them. And she immediately kind of just puts her hand over her mouth.
You did that to Isaac.
Look, you hadn't been taught anything. That's unfathomably cruel for the person who brought you into this world like this to do so. It's not your fault, it's theirs. They didn't teach you. How old are you?
19.
So, have you learned to drive a car yet then, I assume?
I can. I don't have one.
Look, if someone just leaves you in the desert with a car and you don't know how to drive and you end up crashing, that's not your fault. They should have trained you. They should have shown you how to work a car. You've been left with some powers that you can use for good. But if you're not taught how to use them, they can be incredibly dangerous.
At this point, Ollie and Dakota make their way into the bar. Do you head through the back or do you go through the front?
Well, I'm probably going to lead to the front.
Okay. You enter through the front door. It's emptied out at this point. Grant's up front, cleaning up some of just the leftovers, the mess that the patrons have left for him. And you can hear clanging of tins in the back as kitchen is being cleaned up. Grant looks up. Hey, boss. And
By night.
yeah. Were you expecting anyone?
Yeah, Dakota is with me. I've got Zach and Ava in the back. At
Nice
least they
one,
should be, right?
He nods.
Looking
He nods. And he's like, I just wanted to make sure. Yeah, they're in back. Zach said something about knock before going in.
Yeah. Storyteller, what time of the night is it?
It's looking about 4 a.m. at this point. Daylight's in about
Okay.
an hour and a half.
And how far away is the Ivory Tower?
Downtown Chicago. On foot, it's going to be a while. You won't get there before sunrise. If you do, it'll be risky. It'll be tight.
In a
With that car?
With a car, you could get there.
Okay.
You can get there.
All right.
Probably in like 30 minutes. I'm just looking for the measuring thing on Roll20 here. I just don't know where that is.
I would think on foot, it's way up there. There's no way we'd make it an hour and a half on foot.
That's what I
I
figured.
guess.
I mean, if you're on foot and it's pretty quiet and you just take a direct route, it's not that large an area. It's just very, very dense. Like, if you're crossing roads repeatedly without having to worry about traffic because it's dead, 1.5 maybe, but probably more. Like, I can see maybe 1.5 if you're going pretty quick.
Oh, I apologize. I should have made you roll for this when she said that. Ava and Zach, can I please get a roll from you real quick before we go back to the front? Intelligence occult.
Oh, thank you. I assume my rolls are going to be as typical tonight. 2, okay.
2 also.
Her saying she did that to them doesn't fit what Thinbloods can do. Thinbloods can't sire. Usually.
Okay.
So either she's got a bizarre gift that is rare among Thinbloods, or she's not actually a Thinblood. You don't know.
Can I taste her blood again? That's a different scene.
Is it scene length or is it night length?
Let me check. It's not the best reading it in Roll20. I'll just post it back again.
Yeah. Duration. It can be both actively and passively, warning the user aggressive intent. Well, they're not aggressive, so it's
no.
not
That's Sense of Beast. This
oh,
is
that's
Taste
Sense
of
of
Blood.
Beast. My bad.
Yeah.
Duration NA.
It's got no duration. Just gives you info.
Yeah, it doesn't it's one of those powers. D&D has those too, where it's like it doesn't say you can't just do it over and over again.
There are several powers like that in the book, which say like on a complete fail where you roll no successes, you can't ever use it again on that person.
I'd
probably veer towards that. It should really have that because several of the powers do have that, and it's quite helpful.
Okay. So yeah, I'll let you get another roll.
Okay. I've been patting her. I'll just raise the pad to my mouth and just
It's a result of blood.
Yep.
3 successes, please.
3 successes.
Ooh.
She's a caitiff. She's a caitiff who's sired.
Oh!
Twice.
Fucking shit.
Dakota and Ollie.
Oh boy.
You just head back to the back room?
I'm not going in. I know she knows my face. I'm not going to be of any help in that back room.
Yeah, that's
Sure.
why I didn't want them to come back in, so that makes sense.
Does Ollie go back or no?
Yeah, I'm gonna go back.
Do you knock?
Yeah.
Okay. There's a when you kind of finish tasting the blood and it comes to you, Ava doesn't know this yet. There's a heavy. Her eyes snap to the door.
Zach, if you want to go get that, I'll
No,
stay
I want
here
you to
with
go
her.
get that.
I mean, the door is like 3 inches behind you. It's a small room.
Okay, I will just like creak it open and
You see a familiar figure.
I will step outside and let them know. Is it both of them?
Nope, just Ollie.
Just Ollie.
She's waiting in the bar.
We're talking with her right now. She's awake. She doesn't seem to know what she is. And she's very scared. And Zach is trying to calm her down.
Well, let's go in.
Okay. And I'll let Ollie in as well.
Ollie steps in and...
Before she turns, I'm going to kind of grab at her arm, not hard, just like to get her attention. When you leave, is there a chance that I can grab a ride to the tower? And is there a place that I can stay there?
Yes. You can. You can stay with me if you want.
I just
in my
need...
haven.
I'm going to need a place. I might need audience with the prince.
Sure, that can be arranged. It might take a few nights, but we can...
I mean, if he's asking for a meeting with the prince, it could be a lot longer than a few nights.
Oh, it could be a few months.
That's closer to reality.
Yeah, in the 10 years, I got one audience with the prince.
Yeah.
The prince is very busy.
She's usually quite busy.
I don't call him any favors, and I always do what I'm told. I've stayed out of trouble the entire time.
Look,
Sorry, did Ollie just ask Ava to do her a favor? To do him a favor?
You're welcome to stay with me if that's really what you wish, and I can try to pull some strings.
Do you have that kind of pull?
I might. But it would be a lot. It might require... Ava kind of...
Once a Heloise, always a Heloise.
Favor for favor, Ollie. You know how things work here.
I would be happy to trade a favor. And you can call on me at any time. I just don't like doing this bond bullshit. It's dirty.
The boons, you mean?
Yeah.
You're gonna have to get used to it. That's what we all do. That's what everybody does in the Ivory Tower. You do something for one person, they do something for another. It's written down.
You're right. And my word is worth more than you are probably remembering.
Fine. For you, dear Oliver, we don't have to write it down.
I'm serious, Ava. If there's something that you need, and it's not going to cost me my life, call on me.
Sounds like a minor boon.
Yes.
You're reaching out to the prince on his behalf.
Ooh, that's more than a minor, but it's fine. Dear Oliver, I will do it for you.
So this conversation happens right behind you, Zach, and the girl is still on the cot. Her eyes are wide, and she's kept to herself ever since Ollie's walked in. She's very much pursed her lips.
So, what do we know?
Is she all right, Zach?
He was shocked.
All right. I'm going to turn a chair around and sit down with the back to my chest. You're still in Chicago. You haven't gone that far. I need to know your name.
She looks to Zach.
He's
Almost
one of
as
the
though
ones who drove the people who wanted to kill you off. He looks a bit scary, but he's one of the good guys.
I'm flattered.
Well, Liz.
Liz, just Liz.
Is that okay?
No, I want to know your full name. You're young. You look like a kid. But I don't know how much of you is really a kid. I know plenty that look like you and are much older.
She looks visibly confused, but worried. Miller, Liz Miller.
Liz Miller.
And your brother's
All right.
name?
Well, the name she gave you before wasn't the friend.
That was the friend, right? Isaac Evans.
And you say her brother, Brady.
Liz and Brady. All right. You getting this down, Bookworm?
I got it.
So how did this come to be, Liz?
She vigorously shakes her head back and forth. I don't know.
You just wake up one day and you and your brother and this other person, you're all different and you're all sick.
Look, do you want to take a minute? We'll get you some food. I can't get you food.
She goes, I've tried.
No, that's...
Ollie,
fine.
int plus occult, please.
Sure. Not really my strongest.
That's all right. I'm looking for 2 successes.
I can't make that happen. Nope.
Okay. Nope. Then nothing comes to mind.
The reason she can't eat.
Well, she's
Unsettled stomach.
well, she's a thin blood. It could be that too. Some thin bloods can't. Some can. Every thin blood's weirdly different. Some can walk in sun. Some can't.
Look, I'll get you something to your taste, okay? I'm gonna be right outside. If you need me, just knock on the door. You should be safe here. Okay?
She nods her head. I'm worried about my brother. If the guy who found me finds him, I don't think he could get away.
Look, the guy who found you, do you remember how big he was? I tap Ollie on the chest.
But my brother doesn't have. He's not protected.
The guy's injured. It's gonna be a little while before he's even back in commission.
Okay, I'll knock if I need anything.
Okay. We'll get you something, don't worry. And if you need to sleep, I assume this room's okay?
She just closes her eyes and just...
Look out. How long has she been sick? How long you been sick, Liz?
God, I don't know. A couple months, maybe?
Ollie,
Did you meet any
Ava,
new
can we
people this
talk
time?
outside?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
So you step out, all 3 of you step outside.
That's
Door
the door.
closes behind. Do you walk away from the door?
Gonna pull out a little door wedge and just put that under the door. Gonna walk a little way away, so...
The bar's closed now, so you know the front is going to be empty. Sparing Grant, probably, but he sleeps here. The cook doesn't. He comes in.
Did I see him put this wedge under the door?
Yeah.
Then I'm gonna draw from my pocket my keys, and I'm gonna lock the door too.
No, that'll make a sound.
I think it's fine to lock.
Look, I just take the wedge out again. I'm gonna pocket again.
I'm still gonna lock the door.
Sure. You
I
lock the
think
door.
that's
This is for
For the
precautions.
best.
Where
Fuck
do
you
you
putting a wedge in?
Do you go out to front? Do you stay out back? Where do you go?
Where's Dakota?
Yeah, we're gonna find
You-
Dakota.
You go out front and she's gone.
Grant. Grant. Is he
Go!
anywhere?
Yeah. I thought you said great. Sorry. You shout Grant a couple times. Hey, yeah, sorry, hang on. And you hear some clattering of some plates in the back. He's like, sorry, just washing up. What's up?
Where'd Dakota go?
I don't know. Was I supposed to keep an eye on her?
No, but I thought she was gonna stick around.
I don't know what the fuck you guys do.
She's probably gone to trace or track.
You do that. He goes, I don't want to hear what I'm not supposed to hear. And he goes out into the back kitchen. He's like, if you need me, I'll be back here.
I was going to ask your permission to
weird.
just wipe his mind of whatever he overhears, but that's simpler. I assume she's gone to trace down what she talked to you about earlier.
Yeah, we tried. She couldn't
Yeah.
find anything.
I'm sure. I don't know what she found or didn't find, but it's going to be very, very important to her and to you. More immediately, though, she's not Thinblood.
Okay.
Well, that would explain why she's siring people, but what is she?
She's 13th generation, like us.
13th generation.
Okay.
What clan?
Mine.
Oh, great.
She's a...
Well, now we definitely have to figure out who's siring.
Yes, that is...
A 12th gen siring is a lot different to a 13th gen siring.
And wait a minute. Is she able to walk out in daylight?
No. She won't be.
But the ones... So she sired the two friends of hers. Or the brother and the friend.
Her brother and her brother's friend, yes.
Where the hell is her sire?
Doesn't know.
Doesn't know or won't say.
Doesn't know.
Hmm.
I have ways I can find a name, possibly, of a sire.
Perhaps we should dig deeper
She
into
won't
her.
know.
Are you sure? Do you think she's playing us? That she's lying?
I think it's easier to lie in a situation when there are 2 or 3 scarier people staring at you in your face.
She might know more than what she's playing off.
Mr. Jackson asked for Thinbloods. He didn't ask for
Dead
her.
blood. Yeah.
But she's just not going to sit idly by and let us kill her family. On top of that, she's not supposed to be siring anyone.
For
Correct me if
start,
I'm wrong,
we don't kill her
because-
family. I'm saying this
You-
very quietly. When we get to her family, it's too late.
You're pretty up to snuff on Camarilla law. As a caitiff, you know. How many are you allowed to sire, Zach?
Straight up,
0.
everybody knows this, and for chat to remember, siring has been outlawed almost 10 years. 8 years exactly. Well, not exactly.
She's gonna be put to death.
This girl is a big liability and needs to be taken care of.
I wonder what the Ivory Tower would say if they found out that a 12th gen was siring people that they shouldn't have. I wonder if they think it would be worth letting a 13th gen live. We could use them to find the 12th gen.
Intelligence plus politics roll, all 3 of you. As you start ruminating about ideas with the caitiff.
That's definitely not my bag. Like
I know,
I'm-
but you can still make the roll. You would have
Okay.
heard whispers occasionally.
My
just
rolls
because
today.
0.
Ava's the only one that comes to mind, and it's probably because of where she operates out of, being in downtown Chicago so much and being surrounded by those who are so willing to speak with her openly, just because how beautiful she is. You do know, further north in the Gold Coast, in Bruja territory, they have been openly welcoming caitiffs to reside there without punishment. They've had a small gathering of about, as far as you know, in between 5 and 10 caitiffs out there. Likely much on the lower number, but you've heard bigger estimates before. There are caitiffs that take refuge out in Bruja territory.
There is one thing I find interesting about this. There was a Bruja, Dakota said. And there is one area in Bruja territory where caitiffs are welcome. It's like a
It's a
place
small
of
area
refuge.
small area in the Gold Coast.
There's just too many conveniences. Listen to Dakota's story. There was a Bruja, and then there was Inquisition or a Hunter, and then boom, she's there too. And it's supposed to be
Yes.
Rowan?
Way too many conveniences for one part of Chicago.
Well, either that Bruja was looking into trying to find and adopt a caitiff, or that Bruja created a caitiff and was just constantly watching them.
Maybe the Bruja are siring these caitiffs.
Well,
Yeah, I've got another theory.
more importantly,
Zach, you've got a pretty good memory, right?
Joe,
How many kindred have you met that could really rock a top knot?
there was one kindred who came through a few years ago, but before that, one wizard and a lot of hippies.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the scary part. That description that she said, these tattoos, the top knot, his build. Zach, I tried to get a message out to Hogwarts a
So
long
did
while
I.
ago.
Got no reply.
Neither did I. But we weren't exactly quiet about it either. We definitely said we were in Chicago.
Given the demographic of the Bruja, top knot's not out of their fashion choice.
Can't say that I've met too many of them myself. It's a little too close to home, though, don't you think?
A top knot doesn't prove much. The Bruja angle is much more likely, especially if it's a 12th gen looking after their childer, or if it's actually a Bruja looking to adopt someone for their hound. Here's the thing, though. We go back to Kevin, we say anything about this, he'll ask who sired, we try and find out any information. Those kids will tell exactly who sired them.
Yeah, we got 2 more days, though, right?
And what do we want? To find another Thinblood?
We just got to get him to move.
Ask us, do we know any other Thinbloods in the city who are kind of eking out?
Thinbloods, once the cam gets word, usually wipe them out.
Okay.
I've had a few come through my bar, but they don't stay long, right?
Yeah, they don't stay long, and you're the only place that they know they can come and leave without being reported.
So, we hand over the 2 Thinbloods we have to Kevin. Kevin then says, okay, you handed me over the Thinblood I wanted. Investigate, find out the caitiff. Okay, the caitiff sired them. Great. Then he'll ask us, well, did you find this caitiff? Then we're backed into a corner. We take the caitiff to the Bruja. He'll ask the same thing. We don't bring the Thinbloods to him. We break our promise. He has nothing to prove we actually killed the Thinbloods. We go to the Ivory Tower. We tell them, hey, we found a caitiff who illegally sired someone, but they were illegally sired. If we can find their sire and hand a 12th gen who has been illegally siring over to you, if they die, there'll be 1 space in Chicago. Can their childer fulfill it? If we're very lucky, that's the only leverage we have.
Well, you know me. My vote is always to bring things back to the Ivory Tower, any information.
Most things end up back there anyway.
True. Look, we were put on this as a boon to Mr. Jackson to bring the Thinbloods. That's all we have to do. We ask her where the 2 Thinbloods are. We get them. We bring them, or at least one of them, to Mr. Jackson. And we do what we want with this girl. She's not a Thinblood. We don't need to do anything.
No, but she was feeding in his domain. Or a domain of Ventru. I don't think it was his domain, right? This was a different Ventru's domain or something.
It's
Yeah,
like
because
Who owned the
Moro-
domain before the Ventru?
Anarch territory.
Entirely Anarch. Okay.
Something also important that obviously I think you brought up, but just a refresher for now. You looked for Thinbloods and you came across a caitiff. A caitiff without a sire is illegal. She would likely be killed by the Camarilla. A caitiff who also sired 2 others is like 3 masquerade breaches and most certainly will be killed. The only way you can walk out of here with her alive, beyond doing and hiding her on your own, is, as Ava had brought up, potentially the Bruja would be willing to take her in.
If we hand her over to the Bruja, though,
you don't know what they're going to say. You have to talk to them. You just know it's an option. You know that door is not fully closed.
But she's still a huge masquerade breach. And hand her over to the Bruja. The Bruja are going to be like, "Cool, where'd you find her?" Be like,
you also have the option. Ollie might even bring it up. You also have the option of going across the border and dealing with not the camera.
That's a no from me.
Which is why I don't think Ava would bring it up. Ollie might think. Ollie would think of it. It's up to him whether he says it. Zach right now is balancing a whole lot in his mind. He's got a whole lot of info.
I must have missed that. What did you say? Oh, the Anarchs?
Yeah, you always have the option of taking her south of the border. So is that option too?
Oh, just kill her.
That's honestly.
Dakota would have already slit her throat, so.
If you want my votes in the group,
Ava,
I say we just bring her to the ivory tower and deal with the Thinbloods. That's all we're here to do. We have plenty of other things going on in our lives right now. I don't need to drag more.
Sure.
I really don't. And I don't want to make this a messy thing. I understand, Zach. She's part of your...
Okay, sure.
And... yes.
Do you mind if I speak to Ollie then?
Fine. I will go check on her. Make sure she hasn't secretly escaped and is on the run.
Okay. She does need some comforting.
So the door's locked, so you're like, hey, oh, wait.
I'll just wait outside of her room, make sure.
Yep, you just stand outside and make sure she doesn't leave or anything.
Try to break out or something.
Yep. Sure. Zach and Ollie.
You're plotting.
Well, it's not like you haven't. I distinctly remember one conversation 10 years ago.
And?
It began with something like, you do realize, Ollie, if we take Rowan back to Chicago...
Yeah, I know. Look, I'm already trying to get in front of it.
I didn't ask at the time because I didn't want to know.
You're right, and you still don't want to know. What I need, what we need, is to figure out where this person is.
Which one?
The handkerchief.
I can maybe do something with it, but not much.
I know blood's blood, and that's the best I could get.
I can maybe tell you some things about it, but beyond that...
We can't locate it. Didn't we do that before? We had some of Mark's blood, and didn't we find him?
We had some of Mark's blood, and Saito tried to do it, and Saito failed, and Saito was much more experienced at this than me. And that spell is horrifically underleveled for the difficulty of it, and is actually a really shitty spell, difficulty 6. Anyway.
Yeah, it's pretty garbage.
Yeah. And you need survival, which is like the weirdest cross-class ever for a Tremere. How many Anarchs do you know?
I know a few.
I don't know them well. You just brokered a deal with one of them.
I know a few. I know that I'm going to be seeing an Anarch real soon. In fact, as soon as they call them in, I know a particular building that I can go to. 2 doors down, look into whatever is above and say Sugar Plum Fairy, and they'll be at my beck and call.
Okay. Well, you're the most human of all of us, Ollie. And I'm sure you know the right thing to do. Me and Ava need to head back to where we reside in downtown. When we come back tomorrow, I'm sure she'll still be here, chained in that room.
So what, do you want me to call on this person? Call on the Sugar Plum Fairy.
I don't know any anarchs. You do.
If we just bring someone to their door, they're gonna see it as us calling in a favor that we don't even have, because we'll just be causing them problems.
Isn't the whole anarch thing about taking those people who are ground under the heel of the Camarilla?
That's fair. Either way, she won't be able to stay here.
No.
I really want to help her, but I can't. She's in a worse off position than we were when we started.
Yeah. And if we come back tomorrow, she's definitely going to be here, ready to be handed over. Mr. Jackson?
Yeah. I'll put out a call.
I trust you know what to do with what's right, Ollie.
And on that conversation, Capper, then.
And as I go, I'm going to pat Ollie on the shoulder and say, if she breaks out, that would be terrible.
Yeah, it'd be real awful. But luckily, I've made sure that it's pretty damn hard to get through these doors. But I'll also be taking that wedge from you, just in case.
And then on that, the camera pulls out, leaving the bar completely, following the highway north, past Little Village and into Lawndale, on the border of the park where those gangrel used to hang out and Dakota used to go to quite often. There we see Dakota walking across the street, a street light still brightly lit. You're in an area that has some money, and this park is relatively well kept. Even at night, it doesn't see too much activity, though the further west you go, the more the parks become more dangerous at night, for a myriad of different reasons. But eventually we see Dakota walk up to a bench, sits down, and waits. She crosses her arms and watches as the moon crawls across the sky slowly. Sunrise is not long, maybe another 30 minutes at the point where eventually she hears someone clear his throat behind her back. Does Dakota stand?
How long has it been since I've seen him?
It's probably been about a month or so. You don't see him too often.
Okay.
And especially if you reached out to him,
Yeah.
That's very rare.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Unless you have a job to hand him.
Yeah, I stand, but I don't know what his preferred methods of communication are, so I don't know if eye contact and those kind of things are.
Yep, eye contact is, I mean, like,
Great.
You're welcome to, but he has an incredibly stern, stoic look, and he's a man of very few words.
Great. I simply stand.
When you turn around, you see a man in a leather jacket and biker pants, bald head, in his 30s with a chiseled square jaw, and this man is built like a tank. A familiar face to Ava and Zach from many, many, many years ago. The sheriff of Chicago.
And I simply say, I know you don't like to sit, but you may want to for this one.
Speak, child.
I watched a brouhaha tonight, stalking of entry territory, followed very promptly by what I can only assume to be an Inquisition member who is attempting to kill another kindred. I stepped in.
Who's the brouhaha?
I don't know.
Who was the kindred who was almost killed?
As per another personal job, that kindred is said to be a Thinblood and is to be traded to Jackson.
Was this committed in Venture territory?
It was, as per permission.
Then it falls under his jurisdiction. Has there been a Masquerade breach?
I'm unsure, but all of this is not what worries me.
Are you telling me one of my hounds doesn't know if there was a Masquerade breach?
There was... I'm trying to think. Was there a Masquerade? There was no direct Masquerade breach yet.
Thinblood siring is a Masquerade breach.
Yeah.
Yes, but I don't know about that.
Well, you know the Thinbloods were sired. That's what...
Oh, okay, okay. You mean the Thinbloods are there and they're being sired in the area. Okay.
Kevin wants to investigate.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, the fact that Thinbloods exist as a Masquerade breach by
In
itself.
and itself.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I would say, yes. Jackson is a bit upset at the Thinbloods moving in on his territory. It was our job to simply herd them into less welcoming territory.
You understand how this works. If Masquerade breaches are openly committed, and you have evidence or witnessed them yourself, you bring the person to us. They are to stand trial.
Fantastic. And if I were to tell you that's not the worst of it?
Then I'd say you better start speaking.
I've worked for you for 10 years. A lot of shit has gone down. I saw something that I cannot explain. It stopped my beast. I know what I saw.
And what did you see?
A ghost.
Frustrating. Sounds like a job for the Tremere.
No, not that kind of ghost. I would like to request words with the prince.
He chuckles. You can't tell me I speak for the prince.
The Camarilla promised to take care of Rowan, to assure that he had a real life. I have long since forgotten this, put it behind me. But I looked in that boy's eyes tonight. He drove a stake through the heart of a kindred.
He gives you a simple nod. I'll have him checked on then. If he's missing from his known locations, we'll find him and we'll kill him. Are you sure of this? Do not make me look like a fool.
I would never do such a thing.
Then I will check on Oliver, the Butcher Hopkins' son. Personally. In the meanwhile, Masquerade breaches have occurred in Venture territory. Do they plan on taking care of it?
I think the plan was for us to take care of it.
Then take care of it.
Yes.
If you do not, it will be brought before the council, and you will be punished alongside the Thinbloods if you have not taken care of them.
I have plans.
Do
I
not
will.
fuck up.
Yes. One last thing. His head
What
was
is it?
shaved. The symbols he wore on his body. All over it. This is the Rowan that I saw.
He clearly just takes the words in and then walks off. Time is of the essence, and the night is about to end. As the sun crawls over the horizon, Dakota is swallowed up by the ground before her feet. And those near Ollie's bar scatter like cockroaches as the light shines upon them. The night comes to a close. Chicago is starting to wake up. We'll pick up next week.
Well, damn.
Can I message you some things that I wanted to get out before light took over?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Is this something you
Was there
wanted to
anything-
cover on camera so the chat should know?
Yeah. It's fine. I was gonna
please.
do a few things. I wanted to put out word with the local community, the homeless, to see what they know about our late street doc here, wherever she's hiding. Not sure where it is, but I wanted to get details on her.
Yep.
And I wanted to check my dead drop. The one that no normal mortal should be able to open.
Yep.
And I was gonna see if I could arrange one of the more trusted and vetted of the homeless community to walk with me.
Okay. And you're asking the homeless about the dock.
Yeah.
Okay. Done. We'll pick up next week.
I won't be here next week.
I know.
That's fine.
Yeah, someone parks a lorry over where you went into the ground the entire night. The girl's like, I wake up, bunk. Damn it!
I know. Oh man, it's a bad time to leave. There's so much.
There's a lot.
There's a lot of
Hey, it's the
things that
perfect time for
happen.
Zach and Ollie bonding time. Just saying.
I mean, I reported. Dakota did what she thought was right, and she doesn't usually take shit to the sheriff, so this is all far.
Will Ava have put in the message to, like, how does that go about?
She'd have to make her way back to downtown Chicago, and the following
Yeah.
night she can talk to Sienna if she can get a hold of her. And usually message passes through Sienna to the prince if it's important.
Yeah, I think the plan was I would go get the
Yep.
address of the girl we have, so that I know where her brother lives, and then we'd go back, me and Ava, back to downtown. And
Honestly, Ava is the closest to the prince's ear, so if
Yeah.
you wanted something as quick as possible, Ava's the one to go through.
Yep.
Okay. Well, with that, we're going to go record an after show. Hopefully you enjoyed today's episode. If you have, look out for the YouTube VOD tomorrow. Also a reminder that we have the second part of Dungeons and Hangovers tomorrow at same time, 6 p.m. BST, 10 a.m. PDT, Sunday. And that'll be the second part, and we'll find out what everyone is and what's going on and everything. It's quite funny. I enjoyed it. It's going to be interesting to see what the second part happens to be like. Furthermore, reminder, of course, to Draco, Rolfit's resident Malfoy. Thank you for supporting today's episode. Made possible today for the majority of the cast cards. Thank you very much.
Thanks,
in addition
buddy.
to the whole load of stuff on the Patreon. And yeah, we'll seeing you in the next episode next week. So for now, we're going to go through everyone. We'll start off, of course, with our illustrious storyteller, Mathis Games. Who you are doing and where can we find you?
Hello, I'm Mathis. You can find me at Mathis Games literally everywhere. Also, Chilluminati Podcast and Lost Initiative Show on Wednesday nights and every other Thursday.
Okay. What about a certain naughty daddy, the Bubbernaut? What about you?
That's,
we
I'm
not call
changing
him
my
that?
name.
No,
Forever.
no, I refuse to use it.
Yes, please.
I will
I
call
mean-
you best intended daddy, but I refuse to call you naughty daddy.
Oh, come on.
He broke
naughty
the
daddy.
masquerade. He's a naughty daddy.
That's right. Guys, I'm Bub, the Bubbernaut. You guys can find me all over the internet as the Bubbernaut. I stream on Twitch 4 or 5 times a week. Plus, I come over here, as obviously you can see on Saturdays. Hopefully, I can find myself in the seat of a potential Blades in the Dark game. It's an extra. We'll see what happens. But that's it. You guys can find me doing all that. See you there.
What about a certain snitch? The red dot. What about you?
That's a Nosferatu. What are you talking about?
Right? I am a hound, motherfucker, and I worked hard to maintain this position over the last 10 years, and it's not going to be fucked up by a caitiff.
That's true. That's true. Sniffing everyone's butts is a full-time job.
It is.
True story. And the only butts I sniff are my own and my own dog. So fuck you, Zach. Just kidding. I'm not. You can find me online as Little Red Dot. I play a lot of tabletop games and tell a lot of stories on awesome networks like this one and my own channel. So come check it out.
Okay. And what about apparently Messenger Central over here, Miss
Woo.
Magitech?
Hello, everybody. I am Miss Magitech. You can find me in all the places as Miss Magitech. I do sometimes stream and things, so follow me if you want to. I wish I was here next week, but I won't be here next week. So I'll see you guys all in 2 weeks.
Oh, the Camarilla connection's out.
I know.
Both of them.
I'm scared.
Well,
Me too.
I'll be gone the week after that, so you'll be back in 3 weeks.
Oh no, there's 2 weeks.
What are we gonna do for 3
This is your guys' fault for leaving.
Wait,
you know, you got stuff
Mathis.
to do. You leave in
What week are you
week.
October 12th, I will not be here.
Yeah.
So that's 2 weeks. I am gonna.
I'm actually gone the 21st.
Oh my God, this is gonna be a
Oh,
disaster.
no.
The month of
Yeah, the
October
19th, the 19th.
runs like ruin
The
for this
19th,
coterie.
I'll be gone.
Oh,
Got a wedding. Best manning it up.
So we've got like a whole month before all 4 of you are back together again.
Oh, what
God.
an inciting incident!
This is not a good time to leave.
This is where shit gets messy.
You know, it's a
Seems
good
that
job
way,
that
yeah.
Zach doesn't care who he works with, because I'm the one here going, okay, you're leaving, you're coming back, you're leaving, you had a falling out, you're snitching on them, cool, I don't give a shit. Anyway,
Where can people find you?
Yeah,
did we
it's all
actually
special
do,
wedding.
where could we find Tracy?
Didn't
Yes, we did.
Did we?
Oh.
Okay, I thought we went through that really
Yes.
quick. Okay. Hi, I'm Interrogating. You find me at youtube.com/Interrogating, Twitch.tv/Interrogating. There aren't any streams this week because I'm away, but other than that, though, we want to get back and stuff like that. So, thank you very much for watching, and until next time, may the dice roll over in your favor, and, I should check for tips before we go.
Yes, check for tips.
Important.
Just the tip.
The tip of the naughty daddy?
Psst. No, no,
Is there?
no.
Yeah, you do.
The naughty daddy has no tips.
He is the biggest tip.
No, no, no.
Naughty Daddy.
Naughty daddy has 0 tips. That jar is empty.
Naughty Daddy is literally only tip.
Yep, that's it.
So I can confirm that apparently there were several things to the Naughty Daddy today. Vo, 5100, $1. $1 for the Let's School and max level Blood Bond Rowan and have him do messed up wet work, then sit back and watch Ollie go on a glorious rampage fund.
Yep.
That's a good one.
Don't
That's
give
one way to
me
keep him alive.
ideas.
That would be a turn.
That was one of the first things I thought. I was like, how to keep him alive? Blood Bond him. Secondly, Vo, 5100, $1. Star Wars Space Heist. Yes, I want this, even if it means I have to wait longer for later season 3. Sorry, Compact Kitty. The first blog, $6.14. Love you, Mathis. Roll evil, roll love. E, you need to up your evil game. It's true. I do need to up my evil game. This was a good set of evil. Vo. Oh fuck, Hunter Roan. Mathis, you evil bastard. I love it. I do feel guilty about my earlier tip now, though. Roll evil, roll bros, roll trauma. And
Hell
Vo
yeah.
again, $1. UWO. Bubby is a naughty daddy. OWO. UWU. Kappa. There we go. I will double check.
I hate you.
There we go.
I refuse. I will come up with every synonym. I refuse. I will come up with every synonym to the word naughty. And antonym. I will use everything but the word naughty.
Wait, let me see if I can get this right.
Wholesome daddy.
Wholesome daddy.
Let
There might
me
be
see.
not so good daddy.
I'm gonna be the filthy father.
No!
Oh, God.
Dakota is super
Daddy.
not here for that.
No,
No!
save us.
Oh, naughty daddy.
Oh, Jesus.
Please
Has
save
Ollie been
us.
a naughty daddy?
Please,
There we
God.
go. We're all thanks for watching. Until next
I'll
time,
be-
that's over in your favor.
I'll be the
that's perfect.
unsanitary uncle.
Bye.